We're back. We are live. Finally. Feels like it's been ages. Finally. Feels like it has been far too long. Far too long. But we're back. And we're ready. Happy to be back. Finally. Hope everybody has a wonderful day thus far. Getting the last couple things set up. Gotta get a link real quick. Wonderful day thus far. Gotta reset up everything. It's been so long. Computer's like, what are you doing? Alright, let's get it. Alright. Feeling good. Feels like ready for the new year, you know? Had a lot of breaks. Caught up on a lot of things that I was procrastinating on, as I'm sure everyone is used to. We all do it, right? It's very easy to procrastinate. That's so weird. All right, so since the last stream, and it's been a minute, a real minute. Not a whole lot I have done thus far. But we did a little bit of cleanup. I didn't mess with any of this. We fixed all that on the last stream. I did do what's up, Grim. Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing good. Feels like it's been a century. Been way too long. But yeah, so everything roughly the same. We did some of this stuff. I've been adding little details, like just messing with things in my spare time. Not that I've done a ton, but we've done some things. Little stuff. Just figuring out what blocks I like, how I like to combine them. I'm not sure if any of this necessarily stays, but just trying to get all the details figured out as we go. This is all relatively the same and untouched. I'm messing with the stairs, which I probably will build tonight. Maybe. I kind of had an idea to do this off stream, but I wanted to do that before I stream today, so it kind of is what it is. I also finally just came in here and cleared everything out. So now our crafting room. What's up? What's up? How's it going, Allah? Hope you're doing good. So only thing that happened here, I had all this fleshed out. I just built this wall, really, to separate it, to figure out what I'm doing. And then I started testing some ideas for the crafting area. And so this is the rough idea, and this is going to go all the way around. I still have to do this back wall. And I'm not totally sure how many chests I need at this point. I don't know if I'm going to do one item per chest. I think there's just going to be too many items by the end of this, so I'm going to have to combine them in some way, shape, or form, but I at least want one block per chest is the current idea. So the idea is this chest correlates to this block, this chest correlates to this block, so on and so forth, and it's just going to be a lot of messing around out over here. I also am noticing I didn't do an amazing job setting this up. I'm not sure how thick this... I think this wall's just one thick, so we'll have to maybe adjust some of this, but I'm not too worried about that. Those are minor details. So, I guess we just start digging holes, you know? Can you play Grounded? Not tonight, but I will be working on some Grounded stuff in the near future. I needed a real break, honestly. I was... at a point where I was quite stuck. Sort of that burnout from doing the same build out for a really long time. 3,000 hours specifically. But I am hoping tomorrow, potentially, I can get a updated base tour recorded. And I think that will get me back into it a little bit. I'd like to play a little bit of Grounded. I definitely won't go back to every night for sure. But I'd like some variety on the channel. I think that'd be fun. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I do need to finish the sandcastle build. I feel like I'm just doing myself an injustice by not finishing that eventually. It's too good of a thing to not eventually get to. So the hope is that eventually, is what I'm saying. I'm having fun playing a new game, for sure. So that is part of it. I'm enjoying the challenge of learning a new building game with a lot more potential. It's also just better for the channel to not play a game that is essentially viewership is not going up anymore. As much as I would like to play Grounded for the rest of forever, I do have to play some things that people are going to watch. But I definitely won't put it out of the realm of possibilities. Especially because I'm trying to work on this video. Dang it. I think once I get this base tour started, it'll hype me back up a little bit to play some Grounded. Which is currently what I need. Sometimes you just play a game so much you need a little bit of a break. Still love it to death, though. And I'm hoping people really enjoy the updated base tour, because it's been... I had forgotten. I had never done a base tour. There's a little bit of video content on that build in general, but overall it's... I have not played much of it. Or, not played. I have not done much content on the sandcastle. And it needs a video, you know? I put so much effort into it, it's worth doing a base tour of. And if people are excited about that and it does well, I'm happy to go play some more Grounded as we go. No problem with that. And the more people that want me to play Grounded, the more likely I am to play Grounded. So that does help. The original plan was to play Enshrouded and Grounded simultaneously. My stream schedule has just been a mess because my son is in a phase, I will say. A very difficult phase where sleep is not something he is currently doing. And as long as he's not sleeping, streaming becomes insanely difficult. Because I can't just leave him with my wife every night to go play video games, as much as I would love to. Can't be doing that. But if I do... I'm working on streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday currently, and so I'll probably do Grounded one night a week and Enshrouded the other two, or see how things go, of course. I live in Oregon in the US. So West Coast. It's always hard to tell. People know where that is. A lot of people that are from the US, a lot of people that are from Europe and Brazil and all sorts of places. So, where are you from, my friend? That'll look right. Love this detail between these two blocks. So nice. Just looks clean. Also was messing with just details. Just trying to figure out how I want to do all this as we go. Pakistan, nice. That's a new one. Definitely a new one. You are the first viewer from Pakistan. Honestly, I think the Middle East in general. Way. What's up, Knife? You're just here but not chatting? Did you notice? Had a wonderful... Like to see your video? Yeah. You think in the base tour? Or a different one? What's up, Knife? You like that? Did you like that notification? Did you hear it? I guess is the first thing I should ask before I get all excited. I heard it, so I'm hoping that means you can hear it. I still have some work to do to get them all customized, but not working. Get it. Whatever. Yeah, you have sounds now. Let's go. Sorry. I am streaming on Twitch and YouTube. You're currently the only person on the YouTube stream. But I am talking to a few people on Twitch currently. Thanks to Knife's push. Hello, John. How's it going? What'd we get? Hey, Knife with the 2 gifted. Thank you. Love it. It makes me feel so good that that's working. I was like, I really hope that I didn't put all this effort in and do it completely wrong. It makes Twitch so much better, though, having notifications. Build this out. That worked. Let's go. We're in business now, boys. As they say. Ready to take the world by storm. Gifted 16? Dude, you gifted many times. Timber deserves it? Nah, y'all deserve all that. The only reason I can do this is because you guys come and hang out, so I appreciate it. I have been lurking during work and stuff in some of your Assassin's Creed streams. I haven't been able to chat because I've been really busy, but I have been in and out. I see you live on Twitch every once in a while. Unfortunately, it's hard to like actually be involved in streams at that time of day. Watch your grounded videos. I just built your Hogwarts style boathouse and turned it into a storage room. I have a build I'm working on, but I'm not the best at building any tips. Well, if you haven't seen my top 10 tips video to build better and grounded, that is always where I tell people to start. That video, I think, covers everything you could dream of in terms of building. I think it's a pretty all-encompassing in terms of specific strategies to build better and grounded, specific strategies to build better in just video games in general. And I think I cover a lot of my philosophy, which I talk about quite often in the stream. Like how I like to build, how I think of it. Funny enough, I just today... I just finally took my top 10 build tips video and made it into YouTube Shorts, which I was meant to do 6 months ago. I just was being lazy, unfortunately. Honestly, that just looks cool as a wall now. Interesting. But top tips from that video that I can say are... use precedent images. I think anyone that feels like they're not good at building needs to use external references. I think a lot of people that come in and watch someone like me build, often I think it's really easy to just be like, oh my gosh, this guy's so good. But nothing I do is like purely original content. Like, I'm always using other images, other builds, whether it be, I guess there's same media references. So you're looking at other grounded builds, or like for Enshrouded, you're looking at other Enshrouded builds. Then there's different media. So that's other like Minecraft looking at grounded builds to influence a Enshrouded build. And then there would be like an IRL or a real life medium where you're looking at, if you're building a castle, go look up a castle. If you're trying to build a storage room, go look at a storage room. Like, I used a lot of reference images from Erebor from Lord of the Rings, which is like a dwarven city, whatever you want to call it, to sort of build this exterior. And then from there, you sort of make small adjustments and figure out how you like things to work as you get better and better at building. But precedence, lighting is probably, in terms of making a build, especially in grounded, lighting is probably the most important thing. It makes a huge difference, just adding depth. And you can see that in some of my, in the top 10 build tips video. You can go to the lighting portion and see how I mess with lighting. You can also look at some of my past streams, look at the chandeliers and all those things. It really brings a lot of life to a build. And then the last one being depth. Specifically, I try to never build a flat wall. I always try to build walls like this they're thicker, there's more going on. You can add, I think the depth shown, even in these walls, the layering is also what you could call it. Adding in details. The depth is what allows all this minor detailing to be added, and what is really, I think, what brings a lot of stuff to life. The push and pull of different parts of the facade. And those are my favorite 3 tips. Been burned out with grounded? Yeah, I'm getting requests, so I might have to hop back in. I will be making at least a base tour video in the next week or so. I don't know if I'm going to get it edited right away, but I'm going to be recording and doing an entire base tour of the grounded sandbox build is currently my goal. Just because I put all the effort into it. It was a lot of fun. I want to show it off on the channel and do an actual video on it. It's pretty big, and I can't seem to plan out the interior. Interior is my biggest struggle as well. The biggest thing I could say about interior is try giving a reason. So, like, make a decision of why you're building that space. Is it a throne room? Is it an armory? Is it a... What is the purpose of it? And then I try to look up precedent images based on that. So, like, this crafting room, I looked up some other people in Enshrouded that were making some crafting rooms, and I kind of took some of their ideas and I've made my own room. I've seen some cool armories. You can look up some of my castle builds on my channel on YouTube, and I have a handful of castles. I would kind of consider the Pagota base a castle, and there's a massive castle. And a lot of that's just from looking up Lord of the Rings or some random castle. I was watching Beauty and the Beast with my wife and son, and there's some really cool library images. And I want to work on a library in Enshrouded at some point. And so for me, looking up those reference images based off of like, okay, make a decision. It can be very broad, just simple, and say, I want an armory. Then look up armories. If I want a crafting room, you can look up crafting rooms, and just try to like really vaguely put in words what you want a space to be, and then look up images to kind of help lay it out. Because I personally struggle with interior the most. It's not my specialty. Architects tend to deal with the outside and then make decent interiors, where an interior architect or an interior designer would come in and sort of finish it, and you'd work together. But when you have to do it all yourself, it is much more difficult. It can be a lot harder to kind of decide on what a space needs, especially in video games, because it's all sort of arbitrary. Nothing needs to be anything in a video game. I'll stop by and see how you are doing. Got a lot of grinding for Elden Ring. I've wanted to play Elden Ring, but that's my exact problem is, one, I suck at those types of games, and two, I don't really want to stream it or do it. That's not my thing, really. But I've loved watching some people do it. I would just be horrible. I don't have the right mindset for that game, but it does look very cool. Other games, so Grounded, Enshrouded. When Subnautica 2 comes out into early access, I'll be playing that for sure. I mean, I played Minecraft ages ago. My wife and I played Stardew Valley. A lot of like survival, Don't Starve. I played quite a bit of. A lot of survival games these days. I really just focus on games with incredible building. It's really where I'm trying to push content on my channel, is to purely different building games. And we'll just keep growing in that sense. But again, Knife, thank you for the resub with a tier 1, 2, by the way. Very nice, very nice. And then the 2 gifted subs, that looks like it went to Grim, which is awesome. Much deserved. And thank you very much, man. You're awesome. I was hoping I'd get to see you, even if it was for a little tonight. Enjoy the Elden Ring grind. Maybe eventually I can branch out into some games like that on certain days of the week, but we're not there right now. Unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. I do really enjoy doing exactly what I'm doing right now. There's not many build videos on Grounded. Bringing up the Pagota base, you should make a video of the footprint and how you place the foundation. A lot of people have asked for that. It's such a difficult build. If you want some images, I would highly, highly suggest hopping on my Discord. Grab this link real fast. If you are not already... Oh, dang it. Never understand why it does that. Grow everything will still... Let it grow, everything was still in Whoville. Wife loves that. So join my Discord if you'd like, if you have Discord as well. And then in the build inspiration, there's actually an entire thing specifically dedicated to the pagoda. So you can see an image. It goes over every single square inch of that build. There is not a single thing that isn't covered in that. Because I helped a couple people rebuild it from scratch. The hard part about the pagoda base is that it is built off-grid, so each wall is built on its own grid, if that makes sense. They're built completely separate of one another. So they meet in the corners, and if you look really closely at the pictures, you can see that they don't meet perfectly, and that's because it's built off-grid. But it's a great place to start to kind of get an idea. I do feel like it's an extremely efficient base overall, so it does... it can help some people. It might help you a little bit in laying out a base. And if you're in there, if you really want the pagoda base, message Velocity. He's my mod. Depends on how much time he has. He's also from Europe, so his time zones are all totally flip-flopped with mine. But he has helped a handful of people completely rebuild, or at least get the foundations built for the pagoda base. He's very good at it. He's probably helped 15, 20 people now do that. So if you want some help, he can help. He's been an awesome resource for people. All right. I've been staring at this since the week before Christmas, just going like, I just want to build this crafting room. This is all I want to do right now. Just want to build. Need chapstick, dang it. And then if you want to see other builders in Grounded, I'd suggest... no one's really making videos anymore currently is the issue. There was a lot of people doing it for a long time, and the game's just sort of slowly died in terms of viewership. So many of the big YouTubers just stopped making content on it. But See-Through is great. JJ the Builder had some cool stuff. I think Chisel Chip might have a few videos on it. Rose has some really interesting fast speed build stuff. I have some fun stuff. There's not a whole lot of people on the Grounded Discord currently discussing builds or anything, so that's not as good of a resource as it once was. But between those people, you could probably get a pretty good start. All right, see, this is where we didn't plan this very well. I wonder how this looks. Yeah, that's about what I thought. Interesting. I don't think this will be that hard to work around, honestly. Should be fine. We will make it work. I also will be working on a top 10 build tips to build better in Enshrouded video here soon. I feel like I need to build a little bit more. I don't necessarily want to just tell people how to build better and not necessarily have built much myself. That's not what I wanted. But that is on the roadmap for some future content stuff I want to do in this game. I have a feeling Enshrouded will be a decently consistent game on the channel for a while. Very few games that touch the building mechanics like this game does. If you're a PC user, I highly suggest checking it out if you enjoy building. And then we'll just slowly hope that Grounded 2 gets announced. If Grounded 2 gets announced, I'll drop my whole life and commit to Grounded. That's the ultimate dream, but I don't get to make that decision, so. I have to mess with that. Been wanting to try this game. It's really good. It's still early access, so you know there's plenty of random little issues and stuff, but in terms of building potential, it's like Minecraft on steroids. It's sort of like, I've said this quite a few times, it's like, to me, feels like the adult version of Minecraft. It's like what I always wish Minecraft turned into, or you can get the effect of that with mods in Minecraft, with the shaders and all that stuff, but this game is just like visually stunning. The combat leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's also not bad by any means. You also can play any style you want, which I think is really cool. Not many games allow for that much freedom, where all the builds seem to be pretty good and enjoyable. They already have a lot of customization within it, which I think is great. And every time they announce something new, it's just another thing that everyone's been asking for. And so they've done a really good job just continually, in early access, continually adding great features to the game. More blocks, more pieces, more builds, more weapons, more areas. It sort of feels like the sky's the limit with this game, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm having a lot of fun with it, though. It's got to be a really good building game to distract me from Grounded, is really what it comes down to. Really does. And I think it's on sale for 20% off or something, so it's really inexpensive too. It's a great time to buy it. The devs are already discussing the next update and stuff, so bribing you for a one-on-one session? I mean, these days, unfortunately, I just don't have the time. But I think you could learn a lot from just my top 10 build tips video. And checking out the way I talk about some of the things on some of my other base tours as well. Maybe in the future if I had time, but I don't really want to charge people to help them build in video games. It seems silly. People could use their money a lot better than that. That's also why I live stream. That's a big reason. I don't think a lot of people. I think a lot of people do videos on a specific build, but very few people get into the way they think about building in a video game. Or they are really good at it, they just don't know how to talk about it, because, I mean, I was an architect, so, I mean, that was my thing. Part of why I'm good at it, but I think also everyone can be really good at building. Yeah, exactly. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff is what I like showing off. And so I've had a lot of fun doing streams, helping people learn and get better at building live, being able to answer questions. That's also, seriously, don't feel weird, like you're in the Discord now, so feel free to ask questions. Don't feel like awkward or anything. Don't feel like it's a dumb question. There are no dumb questions with me. That's what it's there for, honestly. The Discord is there for people to ping me and ask me questions. There's also other really, really good... If you haven't seen the base tours I've done with Luderav on my YouTube, definitely check those out. He is an insane builder. Could give you a lot of ideas. He does have... A what? Is this getting rained on right now? Luderav is on my Discord all the time, so you can also, if you in the Grounded chat, shoot a picture of what you're building, and multiple people will be able to chime in and help with ideas and different things. Great community we have so far, in terms of builders. I mean, honestly, there's a ton. It's not even... I can't even just say it's Luderav. There's 7 to 10 really good builders from Grounded. Grim as well. Grim is he's on Twitch. There's a lot. There's a lot of really good builders that I'm sure would have a great time helping on top of my own help. I did think about, like, if I had unlimited time and this is all I did think about doing like a membership tier where you could get like one-on-one help, but I was just like, I don't have time to offer anything like that in life right now. As much as I'd love to individually help everyone, the second I help one person, everyone's gonna want it. So I have to find an efficient way to sort of do that sort of thing. And if it looks like nothing's changing, we're just switching one block out in the center from granite to from polished granite to regular granite. ABC tip helps a lot because I'm always missing something. Yeah, I mean, I love pointing out things like that I think the vast majority of people probably overlook or take for granted, because honestly, things like always be collecting is so easy. That's going to be one of my tips in my top 10 tips to build better in Enshrouded as well. Because there's a trillion items in this game, and Grounded's very similar. If you're not collecting things, the spawn timers on some of the resources are so long that you can't hope to get enough of everything. You have to be on top of it all the time, or else you're going to be doomed. But really glad that the video is helping. That is the whole goal. Let's see, can I need this whole thing to be back 1, I think, to keep it consistent. There. Dang it. There we go. Complicated. Need polished granite. I also am hoping that, I mean, one day we'll hear about Grounded 2. Everyone cross your fingers and pray that we get a Grounded 2. And if that's the case, I will definitely hop back into Grounded more often. And as something that I can look forward to the future, you know. Pass on your ABC to all the builders I've played with. If you don't know what to build, you should be running around grabbing stuff. That's true. I spent a lot of time thinking of what to do just while I was running around like an idiot gathering things or working on little achievements. I also think I enjoy the way I play games where it's not just build. It's not just play the game. It's not just get all the achievements. I try to like 100% everything in a game. And I think a lot of people could benefit from that slightly different mindset of like spending a little time building. Don't make it the only thing you do. Just do many things. If you love a game, play a lot of it and do everything. Take it for everything it's worth, you know? The ever charcoal as well as the pine cones, also spiky spurs. Those 3 things are annoying. Yeah. If you are not an achievement person, it's always hard to tell. Some people are absolutely obsessed with achievements. Some people could care less. Or if you have all the achievements, I highly, highly suggest going to custom game and Grounded. It makes building so fun because you can turn all the spawn rates up of everything in the game to 5 times what they currently are, and that way you can always be collecting stuff. Like it just makes the collecting process 1,000 times easier. It also gives you access to the handy net if you're not in New Game Plus, so very fun there too. Changed my building once you get in the zone and not running out of stuff. Yeah, it just makes it so much. Yeah, there's nothing worse than being in the middle of a build and just being like, oh, let me go collect for 30 minutes. Like it's the worst. You never want to ruin the flow when you get in the zone. New Game Plus kind of changed it with farming science and just duping, to be fair, but I still, yeah, it did. But you still had to play the game enough to get enough science to dupe things like that. So it's sort of a you had to be grinding science as well. So at the end of the day, you know, it's the same difference. But man, did it make it so much better. So much better. New Game Plus really added a lot more to the game for me, too. I got a lot more playtime out of it because of that. Did they ever say why that 1.4 was the last update? It's a multitude of things. The biggest thing is that because they decided to allow older consoles to play the game still, so instead of saying, like, hey, your game can't run anymore, sucks for you, we're going to keep updating this game that you really enjoyed. They made the decision that they were not going to antiquate the old systems just for the sake of making more stuff in the game. And the issue, it comes down to memory issues where the older consoles can no longer handle the game, and so you just get memory crashes because there's so much stuff in the game at this point. So like the 1.2 update, I think, is where they added the Wasp and the Wasp Queen. They were talking about adding the shed to the game, and it just became this thing that's the shed was too big. They could no longer keep adding to the game. And then I think part of that is Microsoft also kind of pulling the plug and moving the team. They have other games that haven't been in early access for 4 years, and then, I mean, they updated the game for oh man, 2+ years outside of early access as well. So I mean, the game had kind of run its course. I think they did do some extra updates, but I mean, they were very minimal. They're just bug fixes at this point. But unfortunately, there's no longer a team to work on Grounded. Is the main thing. They're off on other projects. Adam Brennick specifically stated like he was going to work on Grounded as long as they'd let him, and then then it had to go. You know, that's kind of how it is. So it just kind of run its course in terms of what they could do. But now we all just have to hope and pray that they make Grounded 2. Because man, that would change my life. I'd be all over that. Please, Obsidian. And the hope is that Pillars of Eternity and all those are Avowed and stuff comes out and is a hit, and then they keep going. They would still update Grounded. There's many things they could add. Boss materials, quest type. Yeah. I think the issue is that if you weren't there early on in Grounded, so like I started playing at the 1.0 update. I didn't play it in early access. If you started in the 1.0 update, you probably would feel that the game has had an incredible amount of updates. They really added some really cool stuff to the game. The issue is that the things like bosses didn't add enough long-term viability to the game. They just sort of added another week of people playing, and then as soon as those people had beat the boss, got all the stuff, they were like, where's the next boss? Where's the next boss? I want another boss. Where's the boss? And so it got to a certain point where it's like adding bosses was no longer creating long-term gains for the game in general. Where it takes a lot of effort and manpower to add things like a new boss and stuff for how little it adds to the game. So I think the long-term goal was always that New Game Plus was going to be sort of the end, and they were going to put a bunch of effort into that. My biggest issue is that New Game Plus ended up being too rushed. But overall, I'm quite happy with where the game ended overall, as much as I would love for it to be upgraded indefinitely. Outer Worlds got a sequel. Looking at the difference in player numbers, it seems like a no-brainer. Grounded 2 will happen. It just won't be as soon as we want. Yeah, that's my fear. That it's 3 or 4 years till it goes into early access. I think they'd be idiots. It's still like the best performing game on all of Game Pass. Still has like a 96% or 95% approval rating on Steam. Like, it's just, and then why put all the effort into getting PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox and PC players to play this game to like just leave it at that? I think they'd be fools not to, but I'm also not the one with millions of dollars to pay for the game, so I can't really say a whole lot. As much as I'd love to just drop, if anyone wants to donate $1 million, we'll start Grounded 2 tomorrow, you know. I'll be an investor. I'll make sure it's the best game ever. But yeah, one of those things. You just never know. You've seen that video game that is like Grounded, but 10 times. Yeah, Smallland? Yeah, I have. Unfortunately, Smallland stylistically just didn't do it for me. I watched a lot of content on it. I just couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. Grounded just was like better. Similar. Smallland does some things that I wish Grounded would do. Grounded did some incredible things that Smallland did not. And because Grounded came out first, I think it just was more successful. It's just a more interesting game to me, but Smalllands is interesting. I just wish there was a couple things they did better, but, you know, Lightning in a bottle that game. Plus, the Grounded Discord still has the suggestion channel open. Why are people suggesting stuff? I think because they... I think the thing is because they released the game on Switch and PlayStation and stuff, there's still a lot of new people finding it. It's just, it's not what it used to be, of course. There's still a lot of people that are waiting. But I can't tell you how many times I've gone into that, the Grounded Discord, and people have just been like, oh no, close it, quick. They're all going to try to escape. I think there's just continually a few new players that are like, you should add a new boss, you should add this. It's very similar to John, and they're valid. They're all good ideas. But unfortunately, yeah, they're not going to be like actually adding people's things in. So it is what it is, I guess. Graphics were amazing in Small Land, as well as the spiders were huge and scary. Do you know where I can buy Small Land? I'm not sure. I assume the Steam store, right? But other than that, I have no clue. Yeah, you can buy it on Steam, but I only play PC, so I'm not sure if it's on console or anything. I did not follow it close enough to know any of that. Get some lights in here. Okay, that wasn't the one I wanted to pick up. I think the art style is what kept me away from Small Lands. When there was a game already out there with a similar concept and a more interesting, I'm not necessarily saying better, but a more interesting build system to me personally, it was really hard to pick Small Lands over Grounded in any way. That doesn't mean at all that the game's not good, that people won't have fun with it. Everyone's different, you know. I prefer a less realistic, trying to be realistic styling. I don't know, I enjoy the fun art style of Grounded specifically. And I have never personally built in Small Lands, so I don't know if I can really say specifically the difference. It was interesting in the fact that you could bring your world to other people's worlds. I found that very interesting. You built in the big tree things. You could teleport your base to someone else's world, which is a really interesting concept. But the build style didn't have, or the build mechanics didn't quite have the freedom I wanted from watching other people. Not to say that I wouldn't have enjoyed it if I did it myself. So it's a little different, but I was just so into Grounded that I couldn't be bothered at that point in time. Small Lands came out right when I was in the middle of my Pagota and sandbox stuff, and I was like fully invested at that point in Grounded. Two different beasts. Yeah. Same concepts done in polar opposite ways, I think, which is cool. I definitely like that they found a way to do the same thing different. But one of those, I mean, to each his own at the end of the day, you know? Also was messing with these. Just been trying to figure out little ways to like utilize the different decorations and stuff. I really like these windows being used as hand railings. Really like it. Just looks great. Having fun. I do think these are actual hand railings. I like this one better. No clue what this game is. What are you building? This is Enshrouded. So Enshrouded is a voxel-based building game, being that when you build, the pieces visually connect. And so depending on what you build with, how you build it, it creates really interesting sort of interactions because everything sort of connects in some way, shape, or form. They all sort of, each block does its own thing. There's so many block types. It's sort of your basic survival RPG game. So it has a, what is it, H? Yeah. So it has a huge skill tree that you can build out. Is a mage, an assassin, a ranger, beastmaster is kind of weird, a tank, a melee, one-handed, two-handed, weapon style. There's wands, you can do staffs. There's so many different build styles. And then you unlock them every time you unlock a level. And then you have to go, essentially, how can I describe it? There's this thing called the Shroud, and the Shroud sort of took over the world in certain areas. Sort of like a zombie. The best way I could describe it is a zombie apocalypse in a fantasy realm. And so the Shroud took over, corrupted everything. Go over here. So this is the Shroud. So these areas are essentially poisonous. And so your job is to go find other, you're a Flameborn, and you try to go find other Flameborn, bring them back, and you're trying to fix the world, essentially, and rid it of all the Shroud. So these are the things that were spawned, essentially, because of the Shroud. This is a really low-level area. Not all the enemies are that easy, by the way. But yeah, the goal is just to reclaim the world from the Shroud, and then the voxel building system, for me, is what puts this game far above and beyond the vast majority of other survival games out there. Really cool German game, I think, which is also fun. Which is an interesting little random tidbit, but German gaming company, the one who is masterminding this. It's currently in early access, only on PC, so you can get it through Steam. But it will be coming to console when they go to 1.0, it sounds like. And my goal currently, just because the build system is so in-depth, I can't think of a game that has done building better than this game. And building's my thing. That's what I do. So that's why we're playing it, really. There's just no other game that has, I mean, if you look at, these are all the different blocks that you can build with. So there's 4 different types of blocks in here, in each one of these chests. 3 to 4. 2 stacks, 2 columns of each. And these are all completely unique, completely individual building blocks. So there's just actually, this is a better way to show it. I built this. But in terms of survival, I think it checks all the boxes that a decent survival game needs to. And then for me, the most important part is building is incredible. Every single one of these little structures is a different material in the game. So I just recreated them so I could always come see what they all look like, because there's so many, it's just overwhelming at times. And then they're adding in, on top of that, you can terraform everything in this game. If you build in these little, this is your flame altar. So this is a little build thing that gives you this yellow line. It allows you to build in this area. You can upgrade them. You can build multiple of them. So you can make really big places. That's why these are the flame altars. So like my current base, I have 5 in here. This one's not necessary. If these ones allow me to build on this whole place. And so the building's just incredible. The fact that you can mine and terraform anything, the resources are incredible. These are all just terrain blocks, like roads and grass and vegetation. Shroud, there's snow they just added, and ice in the game, grass, dirt, rock, sandstone, sand. So many cool blocks. I've never played a game. I played a lot of building games in my life. Any game you can build in, I've probably touched at one point. Unless it's come out in the last 2 years. I played so many building games growing up. And built-in games that you shouldn't build in as well. Even like the roofs. These are all just the different roofs. I was trying to draw from chests like Grounded. Yes and no. I'll show you in a sec. Did I get it all legit? No. So there's no creative mode in Enshrouded yet. There's discussions of it coming out, but you can either use the Builder's Companion mod, which I also is something I like about this game, is that there's like mod capability. Whereas like Grounded has no mod capability or extremely limited. People are already messing with this game and stuff, so I think it's got limitless potential if the right people get a hold of it. But I use a resource world. So one cool thing is you can go out into the world, farm the material you want. Every 30 minutes, everything resets unless it's within a flame altar. So like stuff you mine in these areas will not respawn. They just stay as is because you're building in them essentially. Everything else respawns in 30 minutes, or whenever you go to the main menu, log out, log back in, that resets all the resources. So you can farm incredibly well. If I was playing this game how most people play it, not mega building insane things, I probably wouldn't do the technique that I do, but because I'm just making content on building, I don't have time to farm millions of materials. So I use what is called a resource world, which is either a server you can go to. Some people host servers and they have all the resources and you can hop on their server, or you can download a save. It's a little bit convoluted to get it set up in the beginning. Once you have it set up, like this person, DeLindsay Gaming, it's a YouTube creator who plays Enshrouded. His community is building out this village. And so you can download their save and then come down into their little resource thing and grab any block you want. Speaking of which, I'm going to need some more of these. And they have, I mean, that's the hard part. There's just millions. There's so many items. Every one of these chests is filled up with different stuff. There's just so many items in this game. Resources, building items, upgrade items, potions, food, chests. There's just so much stuff that it's, I mean, like, this is in early access, and this is every armor piece currently in early access so far. Every single one. It's ridiculous. And there's 10 armor sets per kit, build so far, feels like. 5 to 10. Between like Ranger, Mage, and Melee, there's so many options. But the great part is you can go into anyone's world and your character stays. So, like, I can make a new character and then switch between these two characters. All your inventories, if I say, John, you made a world and I hopped on it, my character would come with everything currently in my inventory, my levels, my everything. Everything stays exactly the same. And so it's a really interesting mechanic because it allows you to do stuff like this, where you download a resource world and you have full access to every item in the game. You can take, like, I'm not necessarily using that for random resources. I'm using it for build blocks and decorations, so I don't have to spend time crafting a million blocks to build this massive stuff. And then I'm sort of playing the game as a standard survival game outside of those mechanics. Just to speed up the build process for me personally. And then, Jay, to get to your question, it does and it doesn't. So like if I put of course I don't have any regular resources. We can go out here and maybe sort of see this. So there's a bunch of random stuff in this chest, in all these chests. Like these are all random resources that I don't have organized very well. If you go into your crafting thing, you can access standard items. So like my wood logs are in here. I have stone in these chests. I have cloth and twigs and fiber and all this junk. So you can build from these, but my inventory's full. I was like, what is happening? Yeah. So you can craft from the workbench and from the NPCs, but only with standard crafting items. So like, it's a really long range. So like this guy, all this stuff is in the chest outside the base where we were just looking. I don't have enough of that, of course, but yeah, I can build these. And so you can craft everything with the crafting NPCs and stuff. Unfortunately, oh geez, I didn't realize that this was open. I'll block these dudes in, hold on. But my only gripe currently is that you cannot do the building blocks from chests. That is like my only... Oh, I'm stuck. My only issue currently is that I can't use all my building blocks. I have to have these building blocks if I want to craft. I have to have them all in my inventory, unfortunately. And there's an undo button. If that's not enough to sell you on this game, nothing is. It's just really good. It's a lot of fun. It's super early access. Like I have a feeling it's not going into 1.0 till the end of the year, if not longer. I'd be surprised if it took more than a year, but I think it's going to take the rest of the year because they've done 4 major updates currently, and we're just now hitting some of this area, and we have all this left. We're going to use the whole map. We got a lot of space left. This was one update. This whole area was an update. They added these underground. They added 4 of these underground things, so that didn't even add anything to the map. You have all of this center area, which you can't currently go to. So this could be an update. This can be an update. This can be an update. This can be an update. Like, there's a lot of potential. I think I may have asked last year, but just forgot. Going to be getting a PC soon, though. Oh, let's go. Yeah, trust me, you're going to have fun. It is really good. It's a little complicated to get started, is the only thing I'll say. In terms of the building mechanics, felt very foreign to me. Like, I feel like Grounded, to me, has a very simple build mechanic system. And I think it took me a while to get really comfortable with that as well. I think that's just building games in general. But at the end of the day, this game is so much more complicated in terms of building that it does take a little bit of time to get used to it. Once you get used to the build mechanics, honestly, I'm having a blast so far. I think it's quite an incredibly made game. Incredibly well-made game so far. And I love how the decorations interact separately from build pieces. So I can come in here. Oh. And then, what's this, granite? Yeah. And you can come in here and fill all this in, and none of this even existed. Very interesting game, though. Any game takes time. I had somebody wanting a base tour and found myself not wanting to show my first ones. Hey, I mean, I've been there. The only reason I did a base tour with see-through is because I spent about 100 hours 1 week going absolutely insane, just building. I built the entire upper part of the pagoda in the matter of a week, non-stop. It was all I did. Literally, luckily my wife was pregnant at that time, so she was like, I don't want to do anything, so that helped as well. But I put 100 hours in a week to finish off all the details before I was ready to show it off to see through. So I get that feeling. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, every build is good in its own way. But you'll have fun. You'll have a lot of fun with this game. It's worth it. It's a really inexpensive game for how good it is, too. I think is another high selling point. I'll put some of this crap away. Oh, that's the problem. I'm so ready to have all this, like, organized. There's such a mess out here. It's crazy. One of those blocks still. When Gratitude gets announced, time for another child then. I mean, the issue there is I'll still have one child. That only worked because I had no children, unfortunately. The second child would only make it harder to do this. Trust me, I'd be streaming every single day. No questions, like nothing at all. I would have no hesitation. I would be streaming every single day if I didn't have a kid right now. Unfortunately, kids just make things extremely difficult to do consistently, at least. Take a lot of time. They really take a lot of time. Harley, what's up, man? How's it going? Long time no see. Almost like I was gone for a really long time. Crazy. Oh, well, I don't know why you guys let me do that. Should have had riots. Riots in the street. It's good though. I needed a little bit of a break. And the holidays are impossible for me to get anything done. We have so much stuff we do in the holidays. It's like good luck. We travel to my wife's family. We do stuff with my wife's parents are divorced, so we do stuff with her dad, and then stuff with her mom, and then stuff with my parents, and then stuff with my wife's extended family, because they're all really close. No, come back. I want that. Wow, this is a lot of chests. It's so organized, though. Don't you love it? It's the OCD going. But yeah, so taking 2 weeks off, you know, feels good. I feel a bit revitalized. Not that I'll ever feel like fully revitalized. Dang, I need more chests. Do that. Keep that out. Yeah, if I didn't have a kid, I'd feel much more revitalized. My son's like in this phase where he hates sleeping. He hates going to sleep. Once he's asleep, it's not too bad, but he was up until 12 last night. On and off. And it did not make doing things easy. Oh, no. I'm gonna have to reload the world. Well, guess I know what I'm doing after stream. Really busy. I'm glad the holidays are over. It's nice to chill and watch you build. Thank you, thank you. It's nice to chill and build with everyone, honestly. I miss these nights. 2 weeks off was great, but I honestly was like, I just want to stream, chill, hang out, build again. All right, number one feature they need. Why do I always spawn at this one? I want the one I'm teleporting to. Let me set my spawn. Is what I really want. But it's good to see some of the regulars back. Now that I'm back, of course. It's not your guys' fault I haven't seen you. It's my fault. But it's very nice being back. It was fun. I was missing chilling with everyone. And I'm really having a lot of fun with this game. But I will be posting a base tour of my sandcastle base in the near future. Just got to get it recorded and then get the editing done. I also was supposed to do a base tour with Luderav, but I didn't have any time this weekend because my son wasn't asleep until Luderav was in bed. Go in. Why you gotta do that? Dang it. Sometimes these just work, other times they don't. But yeah, I always, as much as I enjoy seeing family and watching my son open Christmas presents and stuff, it is very nice being back in a routine. Because, oh man, get a kid out of their routine, we're paying the price for the last month. We're very much paying the price. And then my grandma had some health issues, so that didn't help anyone during the holiday. Can I use this? Perfect. Yeah, like my mom had to take care of her mom, and so we lost our childcare for a bunch of time. It's been a lot. I know mod support for granted is met at best, but has anyone made a light render distance one? Not that I know of. The only person that I know that's done any modding at all in Grounded is Apex Predator. If you go into the super backyard chat in the Grounded Discord, he lives. He literally lives in that chat. He is there 24/7. If that's something you really want, I don't disagree. I think it'd be a good feature. If that's something you'd want, I would highly suggest pinging Apex Predator. And it might be something he can add. I'm not totally sure though. It's just too much. I don't even know if it needs that. Less is more sometimes. As far as the story or exploration for this game, how much of the content would you say you have completed? Oh, man, so little. I mean, a lot, but also a little. It's really weird. There's so much. So I've done all what I would call like the main story. But like every question mark is a quest that I haven't even started, which means there's like other parts of the quest. Like, perfect example. So like this is a quest line. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quests in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quests. So like every single one of these is another semi-important quest in the game. Like these are all the main quests that I haven't done. Every single one of these is like a main Flameborn. Like I haven't even touched half of this stuff. So there's a ton of quests. The quests I would call, other than the ones that unlock new building pieces, so being, I gotta go all the way out and around. I have all of my NPCs locked up so they don't wander around super far. So there's new NPCs that do different things. You have to unlock all the different NPCs. So I've done the vast majority of it. I beat the penultimate boss that's currently in the game. I beat all the different bosses. So I've done all the main stuff. The thing is like there's still stuff that you can unlock in terms of like some of these crafting. These are all different types of crafting things. They all do different stuff. There's so many gardens. There's certain pieces like this have to be placed near each person to allow them to build certain things. So there's a lot. Like I'm pretty impressed with, as an early access game, I'm very impressed with how much content there is to do. Especially when you consider many people playing this game are building at this point. A lot of people are really interested in building. And so, I mean, you can see here, like, I haven't explored any of this. There's a bunch of stuff because I just unlocked the ability to get to some of this stuff. And the nice thing is, like, I won't show the boss. Once you beat the boss up here, you unlock the ability to upgrade more. So your flame altar allows you to go further in the world. So you kind of have to progress before you can unlock specific parts of the world. Even though you can like climb and jump and dig into any wall and anything. So it's pure freedom is what I would call it. Yeah, there's a lot of content. So maybe how many hours am I in? 369 hours into the game. 369 hours, and I'm still haven't touched half of the things. Part of that's been I've been building a lot, but there's just so many random little quests and stuff. Mysterious Wanderer, yeah. So that's like another NPC that unlocks. You have to go to each one of these to clear the shroud in these areas, and these give you skill points. You have to go fight, not necessarily bosses, but some of them have some difficult enemies in them. You know, clear each one of these. I still don't even, I think there's 145 skill points, so I still have 15 skill points I haven't unlocked. I still have all of these quests. I still have more survivors to unlock. I got all sorts, like these are all the different items so far that are unlocked. And there's more. That might be most of them, but there's a lot of stuff. And then you have to go find all of the building blocks. So they're in like chests or specific parts of the story have different building blocks in them. It's a lot. There's a lot to do. A lot. It's a very comprehensive story so far. 1, 2. Say there's, for being a few updates in, I'm very impressed with how much content we have to play with. And this game is also like 25, 29 bucks. Oh, let's double check it. What's it on Steam? $29.99. And jeez. Oh, loud, sorry. And it's gone on sale like so many times. Like it goes on sale like every month, every holiday, every time anything happens, it's on sale. So it's normally 20% off typically. So if your timing's good, you can just get it for cheap. But it's 100% worth the money. If you enjoy building and survival crafting games, you'll have fun. Always place those right where I want to build. Every time. These are one apart, aren't they? Two. What? Oh, there's two in the middle. That's what it is. Duh. I knew something was off. Had to do some funkiness here to make this even. I mean, realistically, I should have just pushed all this out one, but I'm stubborn. And I already did that work, so I don't want to undo it. Out of pure laziness. That came together pretty quick. I mean, there's a lot of details to keep working on, but, you know. Feeling pretty good. Getting a lot done. And so everyone knows, my current plan, I would like to stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm not going to say that that is going to work out perfectly every week. Having a 2-year-old is just, that's not how life currently works. Consistency is not something I can rely on by any means. But I am going to stream as much as I can. And then with that extra time, I am hoping that I will... This is annoying to do. I'm hoping that I can do a few more videos with my extra time. Since I can't always be live as much as I would like to, I also need to make content creation something I can rely on a little bit more and be more successful at. I'm really going to have to branch out and make YouTube videos at the same time. I kind of got in a funk of just streaming, and as fun as streaming is, that's not how content creation works. Can't really do one without the other. And so I'd like to do a bit of both. Make base tour videos. Eventually, when enough people in the community... What was that? What did we get? Hey, Hiroshima. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good night. Hope stream was good. You're new here. I'm Timber Builds. I'm a survival crafting mega builder, my sort of thing. We're currently playing Enshrouded. Building fun insanity is what we're trying to do. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. Amazing as always. Love to hear it. That's what matters. As long as you're having fun, right? Hard to complain, really. Streaming. It's always a pretty good time. Hello? That was it. There we go. Beautiful. So currently, we are building a crafting storage room. So I'm going to have chests for every item in the game. Which I don't even know if this is enough for every item in the game. So we might have chests that share some. But yeah, so we're kind of working on this. We got a... Thank you for the follow, Duke. Appreciate it. we'll get this crafting area finished. The idea behind this whole build is a like dwarven smith. So we have our, thank you for the follow, Darth Knight. Welcome in, welcome in. Got our smithing area here with our fake lava. Been having a lot of fun getting this thing designed. These side corridors, all the NPCs and stuff are going to be over in this massive area. There's going to be all sorts of craziness. We got a long ways to go, but we're having fun. We're having fun. And then this is the outside currently. Building that, and we're slowly, very slowly, building a city in this entire mountain. So eventually this entire thing will be completely filled to the brim with houses and markets and an outer castle wall and a massive castle here and a massive building there. Buildings, it's going to be everything. It's going to be a lot of stuff. But yeah, as I was saying, my current plan for content creation is I want to stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. It's currently my plan. And then on my days off, I want to start doing some just more standard build videos, sort of let's builds. Similar to let's plays, but just me building and talking and chatting and stuff. And then it'll allow me some free time to sort of just build with my own thoughts. Without stream and stuff. Also allows me to make some videos on a more regular basis. And I think it's going to speed up my build process a bit, because I feel like this build is taking forever. And that partially is because this game has so many details. It is not cross-platform yet. It is a PC only for the moment. It's an early access game. The hope is that I think late 2025. There's no roadmap or anything for exactly when it's going to release, but I'm guessing by the end of the year it's going to go in 1.0, and they will be coming to console at that point, they've stated. And it's in their like roadmap for features they're adding. But unfortunately, I think we're 6+ months off. Unless something magical happens. I really can't say. There's less than no information on the release date. But for an early access game, it's incredibly good. It is a lot of fun. Content creator program? What do you mean? Like, am I part of it on YouTube? Sniff around. Good luck. Good luck. I do have a YouTube channel, if you want to check that out. A lot of my content is on Grounded. If you've never played that, 100% give Grounded a try. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's where I got my start doing content creation. I have a lot of really cool bases and build videos and stuff on my channel of that. And we've just been branching out into some other games recently, and Enshrouded is one I've been really interested in, having a lot of fun playing. And then, as soon as Subnautica 2 goes into early access, we're playing the crap out of Subnautica 2. Subnautica 1 is still one of my favorite games of all time. So, expect to see some news on that as soon as we hear about it. I almost want to make, like, these are not windows. These are to show off all the different building blocks and little pieces and stuff that are going to be in the chests, but it looks really cool, and now I kind of want to make this like a detail for the building somehow, and I don't know how yet. Because it looks really cool, and it just happens to work that I accidentally built that out too far. So now it's like windows. Kind of want to see what it looks like from the outside. I also was jumping around and Grounded a little bit today and yesterday as I'm working on a video for one of the bases I never made a base tour for, and that game has options that allow you to be faster, and I feel so fast compared to this game. I am blown away at how slow I feel playing this game comparatively. Alright, looks pretty cool. Can I actually see it from here? Like this. I don't hate the idea of some of this showing through the mountain, honestly. Be kind of cool. I think that'd be a really interesting detail. We're gonna have to do something like that. I'll just leave this alone for now, and we'll have some fun just letting it sort of peek through. I also want to do a little bit of exploration tonight. I really want to get the last 15 skill points that I still don't have unlocked here soon. I'm definitely not getting them all tonight, but I'd like to do a little map exploration. I want to keep chugging along. I want to fall too far behind. I'm sure the next update's a month or so away, based on their previous schedules. About 3-4 months between each update, which has been really good. Just enough time to really get into everything and have a lot of fun building with the new materials, and then they just add a bunch more stuff for you to play with. It's been really cool. I'm a very big fan of how they've been handling early access in this game. And I'm sure other people have, but I haven't run into any like game-breaking issues yet, so that's always a plus. We're finally going to have a usable crafting room. How great is this? I'm going to need to find a place to put my workbench in here. I didn't really think about that. It's probably going to be pretty important. And this game has an undo button, which I mention all the time, but it's so good. The ability to just undo things when you screw them up is so nice. Too convenient. Because as you can see, I make many mistakes. They are, as Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. Happy accidents. And who's happier when you can just undo something you screw up? That just makes me happy. I was not expecting to get this all fleshed out this much tonight. It's perfect. Be able to just put everything in chests off stream. All the boring, repetitive stuff. This room needs more. What are we gonna do? Could build some form of wall here and use this to maybe play around with. I don't want to like hide all the chests because I think it looks cool though, is the thing. You have to play around with that a little bit. I mean, all it really is going to be a room for my chests, but like maybe I'll put some the work stands in the wall here. One on each side. Or I create a little crafting station here. Maybe that's not like full walls. It's epic. Ugh. Need so many more chests too. I'm gonna have to go get all those. I am very much contemplating now moving this to like here. Which I hate. Like what, 2-3 blocks, and then that gives this like one 2, 3. Should be more like that. Gives this a little more room. Gives this a little less. That might be nice. Might have to do that. Definitely might have to mess with that idea. I knew this felt a little tight, but I was like, it's fine. I mean, it's not bad. Not like the space is being used for anything, but I want to do fun details like Potato, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for the 14 viewer raid. All the raids tonight. Did Luderav send you? Talks about you all the time. But thank you. Thank you for joining. Hope everyone's having a good night. Yeah, I had a feeling he's sleeping. Started stream late tonight, so I had a feeling I wasn't going to hear from him. Dang time zones. All good, though. Thanks for joining. He's old. I mean, it is, what, midnight there? So, I can't blame him. I'm old, too, so I respect it. 1 a.m.? Oof, even worse. I can usually make it till 12. 12's when I go to bed most nights. Anything past that, and I'm just asking for trouble. That's mostly because I have a 2-year-old that wakes up at 7, so... Doesn't matter when I want to wake up. It's when he wants to wake up. Rough life. What were you playing tonight? Anything fun? I also want to start working on this armory down here. So the idea is you're going to come in here, you're going to be like, wow, look at all those chests. That's a lot of chests. And then you're going to be like, that's cool. Cool enough. Looks great. Good organization. Good stuff. And then you're going to be like, what is down here? And there's going to go down and down and down and down and down and down. And there's going to be a massive armory with all the armors and all the weapons and stuff shown off on a beautiful display. Then I can come and pick whatever I want to use for the day. Pick my outfit, you know, look fresh. So fresh and so clean. And have fun. Which is the goal, right? I don't know why I keep using these torches when I know I want to use these eventually. I'm also trying to figure out details. There's so many options with this game. It's crazy. There's so many options. It's like having thousands of blocks together. Just endless amount of options to pick through. It's overwhelming at times as a builder. But it's everything I dreamed of in terms of like the ability to build forever. It's exactly what I've been wanting. A game with endless amounts. Go 99. Thank you for being you. Well, thank you for rating and being yourself. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your night. All right. Let's see. I don't have any more chests to fill all these lower pieces. And I don't feel like putting all these blocks in right now because I want to create like an organization system. Because there's so many blocks. I mean, I don't have hardly any of them in my inventory right now, so you're going to have to trust me on this. There's so many blocks to place. And decorations. And just so many everythings. That, I'm going to have to come up with a really good organization system. Because otherwise I'm going to lose my mind. There's too many options. I want to work on these stairs, but I think I'm going to save these for a little build video. I'm going to work on some of this upstairs stuff because this is more fun building that I want to make some videos on. But I'm sort of fleshing out how this stuff's going to work. You're going to have like a double staircase. Everything on this side is going to be mirrored on that side. You'll be able to run up these stairs. Have some cool landing space thing. This will all go around so you don't fall in the lava and kill yourself in a horrible, horrible burning death. And I know that these are uneven. I'm trying to mess with ideas. Surprised no one's noticed it yet, because it drives me insane. But I can't decide whether I want stone on the roof or wood, or there's too many options. So I haven't quite figured out what I want to do there. But this is going to be like my living quarter space, I think. It's currently the idea, but maybe not. Who knows? So many options. But I want it to look like an epic, really high-ceilinged space. It just looks really cool for no reason. And then there's going to be a door going that way, a door going that way, probably a door going this way. You can go up over the armory and the crafting room as well. It's kind of the idea currently. We will see. It's hard to say. Kind of like let things grow organically as I build. I like to have rough ideas as I'm playing, and then however they unfold is how they unfold, you know. This has been driving me nuts. I forgot I used a different block for this. Lots of little stuff to clean up. But that's partially why I just really love this game, because there's just so many little crazy details you can do. What's that? What's happening? Perfect. I'll figure that out, but whatever. That's fine for now. Reminds me of Hogwarts Legacy, that top room. Interesting. What part? Like a part of the castle? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to think. I have hundreds of hours in Hogwarts Legacy, so I feel like I should know where you're talking about. It's the window? Yeah. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy is also one of my favorite games ever. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd, so. I went to Orlando and went to Harry Potter World and had the time of my life with my wand. And yes, I spent $75 on a Harry Potter wand as a 31-year-old adult at that point in time. And I will never regret it. I have it sitting over in the other side of the room. Such a good game. I'm so excited that they're making a second one, and there's some kind of update coming out soon. I know I've been saying I'm a builder and I kind of just want to stick to building, but I'm very tempted to do a bit of streaming on Hogwarts Legacy because I enjoy the game so much. I also did make a video on it, so I can say that it does have building in it. It is a building game if you have the right mods in place. The key is if the mods get updated. I had a lot of fun doing the Vivarium builds. That was a really cool part of that game that I had a lot of fun doing. Kind of looks like the main dining hall with the 2 giant tables and then the big stained glass window at the end. Dude, not gonna lie, I love to hear that. Like, I'd love to make Hogwarts, but I don't like just recreating things. I like using them as reference material and then building my own completely unique things. Because I like it to be a functioning base whenever I can, but I love that it's reminding people of one of my favorite games. That's a win. I'm tempted to replay it. Amazing what that team did considering their past games. Oh my gosh, right? I honestly, and I think we might be getting, I've heard some rumors. I don't know if there's any truth to them at all, so don't take this with a huge grain of salt. But I've heard that there might be some New Game Plus style things being added potentially, or at least a lot of people are hoping, where like you could start over and continue playing with your with your current abilities and stuff. Although I've done a Gryffindor playthrough, most of a Ravenclaw playthrough, then I wanted to do a super evil Slytherin one. I just haven't had time to do, and then finish off with the Hufflepuff one because I want to do the Azkaban mission. But they're coming out with an update at some point in the near future, so very excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you haven't checked out, I have one Hogwarts Legacy video on my channel. I did a Vivarium build in the forest biome, which turned out super sick. It's like a Gryffindor themed forest for all the fantastic beasts. And I'm very sad that I didn't get on the hype train early enough. So the video didn't do very well. I was a year late because I waited for the Switch to come out, and then they postponed it again and again and again and again. And so I got really frustrated and just bought it on my PC, which ended up being absolutely the right decision. I just wish I would have bought it right when it came out and played the crap out of it, because I would have gotten a ton of views on the Vivariums I was building, because they were really fun, and they did really good on YouTube, so it was really, really fun. Yeah, and the resizing and stuff was cool, but then if you had the room of requirement up grotto mod, it allowed you to place like 1,000 items. It allowed you to place any item, so all the stuff that you could place in. So there's like the room of requirement, and then there's the Vivariums. It allowed you to place the room of requirement items in the Vivariums, so you could use all the items and you could scale them to any size, and then it took all of the clipping away. So, sounds good, Potato. I thought you left a while ago, man. Stayed for another 10-15 minutes there almost. Have a good night, though. You just surprised me, you know? So the Vivarium allowed you to place all these different items. It was this really, really fun mod. Definitely, Grim, go check out that video. If you enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy, you will really enjoy the Vivarium that I had made. It was a lot of fun. And it took the building from like, oh, this is pretty fun, to like, I was so addicted. Just the only thing that stopped me from continually building in that game is I ran out of items. Yeah, my Vivarium was busted. Totally broken because of that mod. It allowed you to do anything. Except for more items. I even reached out to the mod maker and asked them if they could add more items, and they stopped upgrading the games, or they stopped upgrading their mod, or updating the mod, so unfortunately that's not happening. But I dang tried. I tried real hard to get them to add it. And I reached out to a friend and asked if he has computer skills. He's done some modding and stuff. And I was like, can you do it? And he's like, it's a little too complicated for me to have time to do. So I was really sad. Wanted to cry a little because I just wanted to keep building. I was going to take that room so much further than what it was shown in that video, but that's unfortunately the maximum amount of items that I could place. Real sad. All right, I'm going to do some exploration for a little bit. Oh, and on other great news, my son said Harry Potter for the first time today. Proud dad moment. Such a proud dad moment. I loved it. I have been listening to the Harry Potter books on Audible recently, to one of the authors that I had never listened to before. And so I got in the car when I picked him up and I was like, you want to listen to Harry Potter? And he's like, hey, Potter, Harry Potter. And he just shook his head, and I was like, at least I'm doing one thing right as a parent, you know? He was thrilled. And then he just sat there quietly and listened. This is a 2-year-old that never sits still and doesn't scream. That's all he does these days, so quite happy with that. Ooh. Should have set that as a waypoint. What are these? I didn't make it to these. This is the new, you can't get here yet, but this is part of the new update or the next update, I should say. I want that block. What is that? What are these? This is why I love this game. There's just so many random, like, these do nothing. Yeah, this is the early access boundary. So all of this is where they're adding new stuff. They just tease you. Like, let me up. I want to go there. So bad. Just looks so good. Fly the line. Wait, why is it going this way? I can't go on that one? Rude. Okay, well, let's get these shroud roots. This is the main focus I want to get right now. Pretty sure this one is in this hole down here. I have to pull a crazy 180 switcheroo. Oh no, it's that one. Okay, I know which one this is. We're gonna get on this house. Maybe. Perfect. We're gonna get our stamina back. We're gonna fly through this tunnel like a boss and go straight to the shroud route. I can finally access this area because I killed the last boss, which makes the red shroud go to blue shroud that you can actually interact with. I do always forget that I should, I guess I have 11 minutes. That's probably fine. I always forget to bring like elixirs and stuff that allow you to be down here longer. But when you're a true god, do you really need that much time? Ooh, piece of candy. Oh my gosh. I would forget one thing I always need. Oh, could a troll. Oh, jeez. This is... Okay, okay. I didn't... Since when did you get laser beam? I think I've only fought one of these. Ouch. He stuns really hard. Usually, nope. These guys are way harder than the normal trolls. Oh, jeez. Don't do that. There you go. Alright. I haven't fought in this game in 2 weeks, so I'm trying not to be horrifically bad. Also forgot I have tons of lifesteal. Oh, jeez. Alright, you're going down. Alright. Oh, I did literally, I've gotten stunned by those stupid things every single time. Godship seems hard. You can have it. What does that mean? Godship? A ring of frost. Then you just come in here and you chop, chop, chop. And now we're free. Alright, that was easy. This build is broken. It's honestly too good. You want some? Sucker? Want some, sucker? Ooh. Well, it helps when I have the wrong weapon out. Parry. Now you're stunned. This game is a lot easier when you parry properly. I don't parry properly. Very rarely. I'm maybe a little too impatient, some would say. Oh. I mean, I am true god, you know? A build god, though. Not a combat god. Definitely not a combat god. I know there's a oops. I know there's a shroud root somewhere around here. Question is where? Well, the only way to find is to go. Little spoilers for anyone that doesn't know what the boss is. You can see its shadow. I'll try to avoid it. That was a perfect. Well, it tells you the name. Oh, okay. Well, that was him. That was the boy. He cranky dude. Oh yeah, it's definitely right down here, if I remember correctly. I went and found all these shroud roots, but I couldn't actually access them because I wasn't far enough along. I had to beat that boss before you could unlock these. I don't know why I don't just fall like this more often. Way more efficient instead of wasting all my stamina. Alright, we're gonna land over there. I think I have to fly into a cave, if I remember correctly. How you doing, XYZ? Long time no see. Hope you're doing good. Hope the holidays treated you well. I want to say it's down there. Okay. Can we find a spot where I'm not going to fall to death? I want to say it was right down there. Only one way to find out, right? I hope I'm not wrong, because I probably am. It feels like I'm just flying into a wall. Oh, okay, there's the cave. Jeez. Dang, you're still streaming? What do you mean? It's only been... Ow. I started streaming at like 8. It's only been 2 hours. Alright, maybe we can do this like a boss. Okay, that's not... You have to fly the correct direction to be a boss. Okay. We figured out I'm not a boss. Unless it comes to building. Then I can be a boss. Wow, these things are loud. Why are there skeletons down here? What is this area? Thought it was longer? Nah, not too long. I usually try to stream for about 3 hours if I can. Three or 4. These days it's 3, but where do these things keep coming from? Chop, chop, chop. Cool. That was easy. Now we TP back. Progression sounds good. I'm naturally a builder, but need the survival / earned aspect too. Too scared of trying creative and become crazy psychotic about it like Lude. Dude, I honestly do not understand how he can play pure, like, not pure creative, like what you're saying. Like, I go insane, honestly. Like, I have to have, like what you're saying, exactly what you're saying. I have to have that element of survival where, like, this game, like Grounded, the grinding was torture at times. I found a way to make it work over time, but in the beginning it was not an enjoyable process for me. It was just a lot of grinding and I had more time. And then the older I've gotten, the older Grounded got, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't grind. I had to, like, I still was for streams and stuff, but for the vast majority of it, I had, like, figured out a way to get semi past the struggle. And this game's great because I can do all the resources, so I don't have to grind for the building, but I get to grind for the parts of it that I want to, which I think is a really good mix for me. So when the time comes, Grim, I'll show you how to get the resource world, which is really nice to have. Oh, okay, that's not early access. We're gonna leave then. I can't remember if there's a shroud route down here. Look at that. Beautiful. Yo, Ludorav's insane though. Like, the best kind of insane. An outpost. Oh, well, there you go. Look what I found. Yeah! Yeah, I'm the same. I really do need some, just even the most basic level of survival. This interior is killing me? Yeah, I know the feeling. Interiors are really difficult, but again, I mean, the best thing you can do is make a decision on what you want it to be. What is it supposed to do? And then that's sort of how oh, that's not what I was looking for. I don't want one of these. I definitely don't want one of those. Okay, kill this guy first. Die. Don't scream at me like that. It's not very nice. Ouch. These things are really annoying as a melee. Really, really annoying. Even though you can, like, pull them to you now. A blizzard wand? It's kind of cool. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as what I have, but... it's not bad. He hasn't even played the grounded story? No, he hasn't touched it once. That's what's crazy to me. The grounded story is so good. So freaking good. It's so good. Like, it blows me away that he never even got tempted after building for so long. Like, that's where I'm like, how did you never... You never got tempted once to try it? Like, he'd be addicted. It's just so good. And then he'd get telepathies too, which is another win. Because he doesn't have telepathies because he's never played the story. Die. Just tank these dudes every time. A chest. I don't need it, but it's not bad. No, no, no. No. Okay, I want to go home now. It's not fun anymore. Where am I? Lost. Horribly lost. Well, that didn't work. Alright, we're just gonna run away. And teleport back. Sure. It's more of like the layout of the walls, decorations, and lighting. I mean, send a picture in the Discord, and I can't promise I'll get to it tonight after stream. So it'll be pretty late, but I'll take a look at it. See if I can give any hints or anything. We have 7. Oh, that's what they need. I need to be able to undo these. You can reset the entire skill tree. I really need the ability to just do one. I'm not a fan of how this is currently working. I think I want to go this route. Don't care about that. No. Kind of want strength. Definitely don't need any of that because I play by myself. I don't think I'm going to have enough to get to that stuff is the thing. Tough. I don't want any durability. This is probably tempting. Oh, I also wanted... Don't need more shroud time. That's also semi-tempting. Difficult decisions. It's too many options. I also don't really need... I did this for the dragon, and now I don't really need it. Want to point me in the direction of how to take a SS in-game? Is it a certain key? An SS. Screenshot? Use the photo mode, which is... Oh, crap. What's photo mode in Grounded? Are you Xbox, PC, PlayStation, or Switch? That also makes a big difference because I play on PC. If you're on PC, I just use... Oh, if you're on PC, just do... What? Windows Shift S. And then it gives you a drag window. And you can take a screenshot of anything. So you just drag it over what you want to take. Then you don't have to do like pictures per se. I think that's the best way to do that. That was the Windows key, the Shift button, and then S. And it brings up a little snapshot thing you can use. I like that better than screenshots because then it just automatically copies it and you can just paste it in Discord. Wow. This looks pretty nice at night. I've been messing with both sides. I do think at some point I want to redo these insides. I really like these statues more. And I don't know if I love the details that I've done on the outside so far for this. I think we can do better is all I'm saying. It's not bad, but I think we can do better. We also have some more detail with the rock and stuff. It'll all kind of come tie together as we go and filling in the holes, but it looks good, but it could look better. This is the first thing I built in the game, so I tend to find that the earliest things I build tend to get redone at some point. I also have never quite felt that I got the proportions quite right on this yet. There's just something slightly off with it. I don't know what yet. I keep looking at it and I don't know if maybe the rock needs to come more over that, or I don't know. Yeah, post the Discord link. Happy to. Okay, it's not saved in my thing, so we will get another one. Hop on in there. There's a Grounded chat, Enshrouded, Minecraft. There was Hogwarts Legacy, but my mod deleted it like a stinker. Because I was the only person using it. Not wearing my glasses, though the facade looks a bit like the Predator without a mask. If you squint really hard, I guess I could agree. Need to get all these dudes moved. It's coming together, though. I feel like we got a lot done so far tonight. For how little I feel like I've actually done. We're moving in the right direction. This was a big thing. Once I get this crafting space like completed, so I have a place to start storing all the items, and I can just start hoarding like a crazy person. That's typically when my builds start to explode. But you got to get that like main crafting area done. I definitely need to figure out how to make this. That's the hard decision. Currently, this is a storage room, not a crafting room. And I didn't plan very well for the crafting part. Because I don't craft in this game a whole lot at the moment. Because I've just been grabbing blocks from my resource world. Because I don't have time to farm this much material. But I want to be able to utilize all the NPCs and craft when I need to. So I don't have to go to a resource world. So I'm kind of like doing a hybrid style. Because, like, you're going to walk in here or sprint super fast, and you're going to have all your crafting, all your storage, all of the items, everything you could ever need. The range is super far, so then each NPC is going to have a different kind of crafting space, I think. That will allow... I gotta redo all this, too, because that stuff shows through. Bummer. They couldn't have made it just 1.5 blocks? Why'd they have to do that? So, like, this area will be filled in more, and there'll be a lot more detail, but I kind of want different mine shaft sort of things. I don't know a better way to describe it yet, because I still have a lot to figure out. But it'll kind of come down, then it'll go up and out and sort of all over the place. I don't even know if it'll go all the way to that edge, all the way to this wall. I don't know yet. Haven't quite figured that all out. And then it'll be a mirror image on this side, or maybe not a mirror image, but similar concept, I think, is the plan. And then the NPCs, each area will sort of have a different zone for the crafting machines. There's still like the spinning wheels and there's so many. I don't even know half of the names of these things yet. A drying rack, and you need all these little pieces for each person. The loom, and so I have my own places to sort of build, and then once we get all that completed, then I'm gonna slowly, as I build out my castle, I think the castle will be next. I think that's kind of what I want to do. It sounds like the most interesting build that I've got going so far after I build this. It'll be a massive castle up here being ripped out of the ground. It's going to look epic. I have a lot of ideas for that, so I'm really excited to get onto that part of this build. But then eventually all the NPCs will come out of my crafting area and go into an individual house for each of them. And so there'll be a massive wall going around this entire area, then housing all throughout. There'll probably be houses up on the hillsides and stuff, kind of built throughout. It's kind of haphazard and sporadic everywhere. I can think of cool places. I want to build a library building on this side with a... I didn't notice. Yeah, with a... There's like artifacts and bones, and they just keep adding more of them and stuff. So at some point, I want to make a museum underneath the library for like these cool things, and there's a lot of cool stuff. You can mosaics, and there's a lot of cool pieces and stuff you can hang up on the walls and add cool details. So you'll have your storage room that we're working on, or a big armory underneath it, a library, because you can lay books and shelves and all that stuff. So I'm going to make an epic library with a museum underneath. Maybe not even fully underneath. I don't fully know. Take the screenshot. What do I do from there? You can just go into Discord and hit Control-V or right-click and paste into Discord. It just copies it, like hitting copy-paste. So I always use Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste. So if you do Control-V when you're in the Discord chat, in the rounded one, it'll paste it and you just hit enter. Or you can just right-click and hit paste. Either option works with that specific method. If you did the photo mode, you can take way cooler pictures, but then you got to go find them wherever your grounded pictures are saved, and heaven forbid I try to talk you through that, because I can never even remember where mine are saved. Takes a lot. But yeah, so it'll be it's going to be an interesting long-term project. That's why I want to start making some videos on the side of me building this, not on stream, so I can kind of speed up this building process and get it really cranking. Send it in the grounded chat. Please take a look when you have some time. I definitely will. 100% I will take a look for you. Yeah, there's going to be a massive... Oh, no. Don't fall. A big wall going all the way around all of this rim of everything. I gotta fix some of this stuff still, but I'll go all the way around, up on this edge, down there, down and around, up. There'll be a big tower up here. I have so many ideas. The hard part is like getting in the flow of just building constantly while trying to create content. If I was just building this, we'd be so far along, but I don't want to build any of it off stream or not make videos out of it because people enjoy watching the process and want to see things. So trying to make sure I include everything and don't just start building. That was my old habit, is I just built like crazy and then was like, should have gotten some footage of that. Would have been smart. I just have way more fun building on stream than I do just sitting in my room alone most of the time these days. Yeah, I think I want to get some chests, so bear with me for a second. I need to do a quick copy and paste. Where's my thing? So this is the perk of having, I know none of you can see quite what's happening right now, but the perk of the resource world is that I have all the files saved for the resource world. And I can do a quick quit, reload the game. I don't even know if I needed to do that or not, technically. Probably should have closed it before I did that, but whatever, I don't really care. Should be fine. We'll open it up, and now the resource world, with a simple copy and paste, should be completely reset. But we will see if I didn't just screw it up, because I did that while I was playing the game, and that was probably pretty stupid. Looks like it should have reset this way. Because I am out of chests. And the chests are ridiculously expensive, so I don't feel like messing with them right now. Look at that. What shit? F? Yeah. Perfect. I should have put all these away. Whatever. And just like that, we got more. I was considering filming the work I do for school and work to put on my YouTube channel. I mean, the school stuff, for sure. Would your work, you're in architecture, so I'm assuming you're working at a firm. The key is your firm not having any type of NDA or whatever. Our firm I worked at was not. Everything had NDAs and crap, so you couldn't really do any of that stuff, unfortunately. They were pretty strict on that. Salvage. Salvage. I don't care. Don't need it. Put these away. In this chest, please. But, I mean, making content, it's a good little side hustle once you get monetized, at least. It's a lot of work. I think more often than not, it's a lot more work than most people think it is, but it's still more fun, no matter what you do. For my own business as well as the firm, not posting firm stuff. It's not interesting anyways. That's kind of how my firm was. That's awesome, though. Congrats. Not an easy thing to do, but making content on stuff can definitely help grow Grow your business as well. It's good marketing. Dang it. Nobody saw that. Definitely haven't done that 2 or 3 times tonight. I did some really fun projects at the firm I worked for, but couldn't have ever used them for anything like that. I was very lucky the way I got set up in the business because my dad was a partner. I got to work on a lot of fun stuff that other people did not. Because I was super cheap labor. And so I got to work on all the fun projects because they couldn't afford for anyone else to work on them. Fresh out of school, just trying to do whatever you can. I got to work on a lot of really fun projects in Portland, though. The projects were fun. They weren't always fun to work on, though. They always ended up looking cool. We got to do some pretty cool stuff, but then you get stuck on like 4/4/1 or 5/1 or 4/1 projects, and you're just like, okay, I don't want to do retail with housing over it at every job ever. And that's what most architects do these days, is just housing. And it's always got to be the cheapest, most efficient, and it just gets really boring and repetitive really fast. Anything notable? The main projects. So I'll say not that it's like a notable project in itself, but I got to personally, as like, it was a project that like no one really could afford to work on. It was super low budget, but the Vancouver City Hall in Vancouver, Washington, was a fun little project I got to do the remodel of. So I did all the redesign, but it was like taking a pre-built building with these massive like prefabbed concrete things. It was hideous. And I got to design the plaza and ADA requirements and rip all this stuff out and put new glazing. It was a really fun little project because it was like my project personally. Like I got to head the whole thing and just had someone overseeing me for the whole part in helping with construction documents. But the main projects I got to work on was the first phase of Hasselo on 8th. So it's a 4-block mega block. So they took 4 blocks, combined them into one mega block, and then did 3 housing, 5, I guess 2 4/1, maybe one of them was 5/1 or 6/1, something like that. So housing on top, retail on the bottom floor. Did like a grocery store and stuff. I got to work on sort of the final design and construction documents on a lot of that. And then, unfortunately, the project, the next phase, which was phase 2, called Oregon Square, never got into fruition. It never came to fruition, unfortunately. But I got to do a ton of the preliminary design work on that project. And that was 3 or 4, so 2 5/1, and then 20 or like a 12 or 15, I can't remember the exact number, story housing project, and then a 20 or 30 story what was it? Just sorry, I'm blanking. It's like it was never fully confirmed, but it was going to be part office. They had talked about doing like a retirement home space in it. It mostly ended up as office when I was working on it. The main project I got to do was the 20-story or 15-story or 18-story, whatever it was, housing project, and it was really, really cool. I wonder if I have any images of the models I made for that. They're really fun. I don't think I do. Not on this device, at least. Bummer. That's some really cool. I did model making for that. I built a scale model of all 4 buildings and then a bunch of Portland. And then I got to do all the 3D modeling, rendering, all that stuff. I got to do a bunch. So that was like the main project. It was really, really fun. Last studio was on multifamily residential. I fought instructor so hard to try to keep things interesting. I know, right? My favorite studio project. God, I wish I don't have any of my studio stuff plugged in, or I'd show some of it off. One of these streams you're in, you're gonna have to. I'll have to find it after stream, and next time you're in, I'll show you some of the final projects I did for studio. I got to do in Sacramento, California. I did a project for a community resource center sort of thing. So you got to master plan a baseball, football, soccer field area, taking this just crappy old park and redesigning and master planning the whole project. And then from there, we got to decide what we wanted to add to the community, and through some surveys we did with people in the community and stuff, all pretty hypothetical, but I designed an indoor soccer center that was futsal and indoor soccer, 2-story, huge glazing. It was so expensive. It was super fun though. And then it had a gallery art space with it all opened up, and you could have events, and it had like a venue space. That was probably my favorite project I ever did, because I really enjoy master planning projects. That's, I think, probably why I enjoy doing these cities. Because I really enjoy sort of that master planning process as well as like the individual design. So I had a lot of fun doing that project. I did a decent housing project. It was pretty boring. Like you said, we had to fight really hard to make it interesting in any way, shape, or form, because it was just such a difficult project to make cool. I also got to do. I went to Portland State University for the vast majority of my architectural degree. I started at the University of Oregon, and then transferred to PSU. And PSU has a very whimsical theory-based program. So some of the teachers were very practical, like that master planning project was extremely practically done. You still got to have fun at the end of it, but it started off as a very real sort of project, and then it sort of went into whimsical whatever the hell you want to do. And then other teachers were just like, I want you to design this crazy, like, just for no reason. It made no sense. It was just stupid and random and had no place in the world. It was just like whatever they felt like doing because they thought it would the talking about it was impactful. This is a lot of theoretical talk. But I did one project which I'm very happy with. It turned out really cool. The renderings were super fun. It was a community center based around cigar smoking. Because I love smoking cigars, and I found a way to make the project make sense, and it was, you could do anything. So it was a building for a cigar manufacturing union sort of thing. So it was like a club and office space. So it had office space on one side, and then a like pool bar club thing on the other side, like not a dance club, but like a social club. Yeah, a social club would be the best. So people could come and experience cigar smoking, and it was sort of this like experiential project, and it was so fun. Just because I got to I literally just smoke cigars as part of my project. I did some research today. I smoked a cigar, and the teacher was like, "Oh, that's so incredible," and I'm like, the fact that you think that's incredible is sad, but I'm literally pulling your leg, like being productive by smoking. But I'll take it because it made me happy. It was fun. It was a good project. Had never in a million years would any building like that be ever made in the history of forever. But man, the fact that I made it work and still got an A on the project, it works for me. All right, this is coming together. Any more chests, dang it. Oh, I also did the most realistic project I did is Portland is very into ADUs, so additional auxiliary dwelling units. And it's a very big thing because space is tight in the city at this point, and so it's always a constant struggle. You can just post them in the off-topic chat, or the general chat's fine too. That's totally fine. I could post them in there too after stream at some point if I remember, or do it tomorrow. I'll make a note of it. I think some people would like to see some of my random projects. They were fun. Maybe I'm just tooting my own horn, but I had a good time. So yeah, auxiliary dwelling units, and they're essentially someone's property. You get to build like a 750 square foot auxiliary dwelling unit, so a tiny home. And my project was, I loved it because I was told by every single teacher in the program, me and my partner, it was a partner project, and we were both told that shipping containers don't work, they don't make sense, they're all bad ideas, and no one's going to make them work because they have too many water problems, they have too much, they're too small, you can't fit this in them, you can't fit that in them, and they actually ended up manufacturing, actually here, I'll show it real quick. This is modeled them. And like a modular system. So you could buy one unit, the holes where windows get fabricated in with it was like a simple manufacturing process to build reproducible windows, and then you could take the windows or the door frame out and then place a secondary unit. You could place like 2 or 3 or 4 units, and you could kind of start based off this modular system. And then it was really fun because you could start with a really inexpensive unit, and then the idea was that you were renting these spaces to people in the city to create more affordable housing options. And so you started with one really inexpensive, fully watertight unit. We figured out insulation system, we figured out a wall system, foundations, all of that stuff through reaching out to people in the community that had worked with them, and we made these really, really functional modular shipping containers that all fit together based on how you rotated them and twisted them. And then they had an external wooden frame or metal frame, whatever you wanted it to be, that allowed you to hang different, I don't even know what you'd call them. So like these just little wooden slot things. And so you could add hook systems, and we had this hook system we kind of took and found. And so you could have like, this allowed you to hold greenery and plants and stuff, and then like these you could hold like a surfboard, or it had a bike rack, and so, or a kayak rack, and so you could hang. The biggest issue with ADUs was that there's no space, so you can't have a bike, you can't have a kayak, you can't have a paddleboard or a surfboard. There's just nowhere to store them. Storage was the biggest issue. And so we found a way to externally store this stuff on this rack system that we designed on the outside of these fully structural shipping containers. And all the teachers hated it. And then, yeah, like lattice, essentially. Just maybe a more robust sort of pallet sort of design. It's very similar to a pallet, really. Just higher quality. And you could store all of your stuff. And by the end of the project, we started off with every teacher saying we were going to fail, and they ended up prototyping our storage containers into real things. Like I ended up leaving school and totally changing my life after that year. So I never really got to see it all come through. I moved away to a different city, so I've never followed up and seen it really built or anything. But their plan was they were prototyping them, and they got like my partner and I's permission and stuff. So they turned out to be a really cool little project. That I loved it because all the teachers said it was going to fail. That's my favorite thing, is when someone tells me I can't do something, and that ain't how it works. I'm gonna make it happen. So that project was, because then the part that was really interesting about it is it was meant to be it was my first year of my master's program, and so you had to make this realistic ADU, and then in your second year you would go back and do all the construction documents for it and make essentially a full construction document set, Revit modeling and everything. So it was a really fun little project, especially because me and my partner got along really well. Not everyone had the same thing. We worked incredibly well together. So that was a fun one. Not necessarily the most exciting project, but it was very fun. Good times. I will make sure to post my stuff. Maybe the general later, or off topic, I don't know. I'll try to find, I gotta go find my external hard drive that has all that stuff hidden away in a closet. Post some stuff in the general chat or something later. Because that's really what inspired me to do the this whole channel and stuff, was that whole background of building and designing, learning Photoshop and Illustrator and rendering programs. Like, that's why YouTube has been a great fit, because I feel like I was forced because of school to learn all the skills you need to do content. And so it felt very natural. Just, oh, what? You have to hop in Photoshop and make a dope, a cool little thumbnail? Oh, cool. I can do that in my sleep. Like, that's just what I did every day for years. Easiest way to get a human to do something is tell them they can't. Got on you for shoving it up those tutors. Dude, seriously, though. I had a couple teachers at that school. I was a very practical designer because I had worked in a firm for so long. Like, I grew up working for an architecture firm. It was the only job I had until I was 25, was working at a firm in one way or another. So I had this very, very technical understanding of architecture, because I was not tooting my horn at all, but I was working on real projects while all my classmates were working on their imaginary ones, and which is fine. That's what architecture is that's where everyone starts. But the teachers just did not like me for that reason, because they wanted their theory, like theoretical thought processes, to mean more to me, and I was just like, that doesn't make sense, because in the real world you don't get to build architecture like this unless you work for Zaha Hadid, and you get one project every decade that's incredibly interesting and unique and gets millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of support, and that just isn't how most architects get to work. And so I approached things in a very interesting way, but very pragmatic and practical, and they didn't like me for that, and I ended up showing them all up, so that was always a good time. Hate group projects. That's a really cool project. There are a few things people did with shipping containers. It's just so difficult when you live in harsh environments to do different things. Yeah, that was the great thing about Portland, is pretty mild climate. It's rainy, so like water Yes, unless you work for XYZ, then you get the best stuff. You get the best of the best. That's my problem. I should have been working for you the whole time. But yeah, Portland was a great place because it's not super cold. It's not super hot. It's always sort of mid-temperature, overcast. It was a great environment for it once we figured out the water tightness thing with the shipping containers. And I wasn't even like someone that was like, shipping containers. It just made so much sense with this, like using this really small space in someone's backyard. And the idea was that you built this ADU in hundreds of backyards in Portland. Like the idea was that you just took your design and put it everywhere. And so it made so much sense to me to go that route, because it's like, what other option makes sense if you're just going to duplicate this thing? Because we found a project, like everyone else, they had to be constructed on site. You could mass produce our project in a warehouse for an extremely low cost because they're all exactly the same. So everyone starts with a base unit. So you'd use this base unit, and then you can build an add-on and build an add-on and build an add-on, and it just kept going and going and going. And so it was like the teachers were like, I don't really know how to argue with this project because I don't like shipping containers, but you guys like solved the puzzle in a way that no one else could, because it was such an inexpensive model compared to everyone else's super custom buildings. And we're like, oh, this is really good. So it was a very fun project. A similar buzz studying music. So many people had the hidden desire to just want fame and as a musician, not work making music. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the architects the thing is like, even when you work on those $1 million projects, you're not making millions of dollars. An architect makes 10 to 20% of is like your pay to the firm is 10 to 20%, typically 15 to 18, I think is what my firm charged most often of the total cost of the project. So that's like after you've paid everyone working for you, after you've paid for all the processes, the printing, everything, then you're making money. So you're not even like making just tons of money at any architecture firm. You do it because you love it, but there's a lot of people that just want to make crazy cool things, and then they get out of architecture school and they go work at a firm and they're designing like these super boring business and office spaces, and you're just like, this isn't what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to build that cool stuff I built in school. And I was like, no, you don't build the cool stuff you built in school unless you're really, really, really lucky. Live in Colorado, so it is harsh. Yeah, projects are in and around San Francisco, which is great because it's not as to make much sense. Yeah, that's perfect. I liked having a realistic project being placed in front of you and then getting the freedom to do a lot of fun stuff with it, but you never quite know. Heard a poet say kids love being writers more than they love writing. Exactly. Everyone wants to write a book until they have to write a book. Everyone wants to design cool buildings until they figure out you don't just design cool buildings all day. Kind of how it goes. And I fell for it too, because I loved designing and I loved a lot of it, but the realistic nature of working in a firm kind of ruined a lot of it for me, unfortunately. But it led me to bigger, better opportunities. So now I work half as much as all my schoolmates, and I make more money than they did. Not that I'm rich by any means, but I make more than an architect makes. So I can't complain too much. There's so many blocks. I don't even know where to start with some of this detailing. Oozin, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. I was wondering when you might pop your head in, but I had a feeling that might be what you said. Well, you're only almost 3 hours late, but you know, I can't blame you. That's how it goes sometimes. Should play Grounded. I won't be tonight because I'm almost done with stream, but I might be throwing in a bit more here and there. I need to finish my city in Grounded. I just haven't had the motivation to finish my city in Grounded, you know? Like, I want to. Hey, thank you for the follow, Envy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I want to finish, but I am a little stuck, I'd say, currently with the build. And I've been really enjoying switching it up, so we'll see. But I think making this video, the base tour that I'm going to be making here soon, will sort of change the way I feel about Grounded again. I had my break, and it's made me feel a little bit better. It's hard to play a game that much and not get burnt out every once in a while. Job is a job, right? At the end of the day, what I'd liked least about architecture was sitting in an office all day, so... A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Okay, Gandalf. You got me there. I can't argue with your logic. I like this hollow. No, it's the marble block. Red marble. I don't know if this fits with my build at all. I just really like this red marble block for some reason. The only thing I don't like is that bar right here doesn't show up on every... Oh, it does. Never mind. I mean, it kind of... It's a different one, though. It's this blocks. It's this. Not the same. It's not quite the same. Throws it off a little. Is what it is, I guess. I also don't know what I was doing here. I was just messing with anything and everything I could while I was waiting to start stream over the last week. The red's kind of cool, though. I don't hate it. I don't know. Fell asleep trying to get kids to sleep and almost missed it. For Asian architecture, interesting. I could see that. It's a really cool block. It looks really interesting. I've seen some crazy stuff for it. Dude, the only way I vote Nej to the red, meaning you don't like it. Is that what it is? Nej? Yeah, I fall asleep. The only way to get my son to fall asleep is fall asleep next to him. And then for some reason he falls asleep with you. Gosh, if you don't fall asleep though, he just stays awake forever. I don't know. The red feels like too much for this build, but I really like it for a build. Just not this one, I don't think. Never say never, but... Oh, nay. Yeah. Nay to a horse. Yeah. It's too much, but... Yeah, it just doesn't fit the vibe well enough. I like it, I just don't like it here. As I continue to place it, like, maybe I can convince myself that it'll look good if I just keep building. That's typically how it goes. How old's your oldest? I'm hoping not that old, because my 2-year-old's like that, and I really don't want to hear you say like 7, because then I'm doomed. Maybe red for castle. I'm gonna do like there's a really nice white block that I'm gonna do. Red marble swimming pool, dude. Bougie. That is bougie, and I like it. I'm here for it. This white block is probably what I'm gonna use a lot of for my castle. It's gonna have a very yin yang vibe to it. It like in terms of black, dark, and oh, he just turned 3. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I could survive that long. We were talking to some friends that are like, yeah, you kind of get your life back a little around between 3 and 4. It starts getting easier in some of those really difficult things. But my son is on Oh yeah, you can't tell someone if you off someone in it. But yeah, they were like, yeah, 3 or 4 things start getting a little bit easier. Not easy, but you're over some of those things. Like, dude, my son, I had to make a special deal for my wife to put my son to sleep on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, because it's just been miserable the last month. He's like in such a funk. He just doesn't go to bed. He fights so hard. Like, he fights so incredibly hard to not go to bed. He just hates it. And I cannot figure out why he hates it so much. But like the other day, we finally gave up and we're like, all right, well, you're going to have to cry it out for a little while, because like I can't stay in here for 3 hours trying to put you to bed, even though he's like exhausted. He's just past exhaustion. And he screamed so hard and so loud that he made himself throw up his dinner and puked all over the door and the floor. And it was like, ugh. Say one commenter's name. Motor unicycle. I did it. What's up, man? How's it going? Son is 6 and he whines every time when he wants to stay up late. He says, Daddy, we were just owls and we stay up late together, and he wins. See, at 6, like, my son could be playing with me right here, you know? Like, at 2, would just be pulling all the stuff off my desk and breaking things and getting into everything and ruining. He's just so active right now. He's unstoppable. He's in everything. If you give him we can't have like cardboard or paper books, or he just chews on them and eats them. Like, he's just at that phase where like everything goes in his mouth. Everything is a new toy. Everything is to be broken. He's absolute chaos right now. It's the cutest chaos in the world, but he is absolute chaos right now. And it's exhausting. He's so freaking fun though, but he's so exhausting. So I'm very excited for him to get a little older and make life a little easier. Never put him in a crib because of climbing. Then he was so tall he could open doors. We could never get him to just lay down. Yeah, we had to very quickly give up on a crib, because he was just so mobile. And then he's like on a full-size queen bed on the ground now, because it was just the only way to like keep him in one spot for an extended period of time. Like in the crib, he'd roll and he'd hit his head on the bars. So then we switched his crib to the toddler bed crib, and he'd roll and hit his head on the bars and wake up all night because he moves so much when he sleeps. He's so mobile when he sleeps. If he sleeps on a queen size bed, he'll start at the head and wake up in the morning at the foot of it. And so he's just very, very difficult to for sleep with him. It's a tough time. And now he's at the point where he just gets up and walks to the door, and then he can't open the door, thank goodness, but he pounds on it and just screams bloody murder if we're not in there with him. So it's like we either have to lay with him till he's asleep. We're actually seeing a sleep specialist in a couple weeks. We have to go meet his primary care doctor, and we're going to set up get a referral for a sleep specialist, because he is such bad, like during the day, he's totally fine. Like, he wants to go play by himself. He doesn't give a crap about us. The second you go in that bedroom, his separation anxiety gets so incredibly high that he just loses it. Like, it was like the trifecta yesterday. He was screaming so hard that he threw up, and then he pooped himself, all in the matter of 5 minutes of screaming. Just like, it goes balls to the walls with it. It's insane. He's an absolute maniac when sleep time comes. He just hates it. But heaven forbid I get anywhere near him during the day. He doesn't want anything to do with me, but then he won't let me leave at night. He's like, oh, you want to leave the room? Cool, now I can get into stuff. But if I'm stuck in my room, I hate you. How dare you leave me? Good times. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. That's the other block. I do really like the conifer wood block as well. Not sure if it's the right piece in here, but it's decent. I wish it was the same on all sides, though. Nexus Kid would try to go Super Saiyan like that. Dude, he goes Super Saiyan. He's pure insanity at night. Kid just wants to stay up all night playing. I mean, if we could put him in the bedroom and let him play, I'm all good with that. Play all you want. Do your thing. The issue is we cannot leave. That's where I have a struggle, is because, like, I have this. I'm trying to do this any free time I have at this point in life. So it's like, if he doesn't want to go to bed till 11, that's why I was like, I can't stream tonight, because his bedroom is through a Jack and Jill bathroom that's connected. And if he's not asleep while I'm streaming, you guys would just be hearing someone screaming bloody murder because he's so loud. And I'm like, this makes this impossible. Like, as long as he's having trouble sleeping, like, I don't know if I can stream anymore. I just can't do it. He makes it impossible. So, figuring that out. That's why I'm thinking Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for streams. That's, my wife is like, I can do that. I can put him to bed. You put him to bed the other nights of the week. I'm like, I'll earn that. That's a good trade. I can live with that. Gives me the consistency where she just couldn't put him to bed 5 nights a week, because it's, the worst part is like, you get him to sleep, he's fully asleep, he's out, and then you get up really slow and like your ankle pops and he wakes right up, and then you're back to square one and you have to start over putting him back to bed. And so it's this just constant never-ending battle until he's so tired that he physically won't get up anymore. And man, it feels never-ending at times. It can be really difficult when he's having a rough night. Both for us and him, I think, is the struggle. Because, like, we don't like him struggling and having a rough time just as much as he doesn't like struggling and having a rough time. I want to continue. I really like the way the polished granite and the conifer wood look together, so I want to keep this sort of structural detail going throughout all of this base as much as I can. Which means doing crazy stuff. Well, it's not crazy, but it is what it is. Hello? Please? Why did you snap there? Nope. It's so close, but so far. Why you gotta be so rude? What? I don't get it. Why did it work that well? Rude. Oops. That wasn't what I was trying to do. My knees wouldn't allow me to stealthily... Dude, my knees. So I had ACL surgery from tearing my ACL playing soccer, and every time I leave the room, my body... I have the body of a 32-year-old man that sounds like an 80-year-old man. My back starts cracking, my knees start popping, my fingers, like I can... if I touch the ground, my fingers will pop, like my ankles crack all the time because I rolled my ankle so many times playing soccer that like just moving my ankle, it pops. And so I just have to lay there until he's so asleep that he won't wake up anymore. And it is rough at times. It's very rough. I'm glad you didn't read my previous comment. What do you mean? You said, quick, say one commenter's name, and I said motor unicycle. What do you mean I didn't read it? You didn't listen to it, boy. I blame you on that one. I think it was you. You not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Of course I went one short because I screwed it up. No, there was another comment? Where? There's no other comment. I'm looking at all the comments right here. That was it. It didn't go through. Unless you were here hours ago. Nothing. You're lying. I only see one. I think I'm getting trolled. A Hogwarts Great Hall Enshrouded. What is his name? John Garamu or something? 1059. I don't see you. There's not one. Uzin made one at 1059, but that's it. That's all I see. I don't know. Uzin, I think John Garamu or John Gamu or such a weird name, but there was a guy that actually that rebuilt most of Hogwarts in Grounded. Actually, part of the reason I never even thought of doing it is because there's like 2 or 3 people that were building Hogwarts and Grounded. That didn't make much sense to me. I also don't like I said it earlier, I don't like copying. I like using reference images and stuff, so like I worked on a Great Hall in Grounded that I was using the floating candles for, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to copy it exactly. Like my own flair, you know? Hey. Skinny bridge. Time for bed, 2 a.m. Wow. Not trolling? I think you are. You should start making build in Grounded. You just want me to play Grounded. Can't blame you. Oh, build tutorials? Eh. They're so time consuming. The issue for me is I really enjoy mega building, and mega builds do not lend themselves well to tutorials. They're just too... Like my Pagota base, I wanted to make a build tutorial for it, but it's such a complicated build. It takes forever. It just takes so much. It takes hours and hours and hours to do the recordings, to rebuild everything. The video and recording part is so much more complicated than I think most people realize. Is really what for me it is the issue, is like I just don't have time to make the tutorials themselves. They take a long time, and that's what led me into streaming, is that I could live build everything I did, and so you don't need a tutorial. You can just watch my stream VODs on my YouTube, and that allows you to essentially get a build guide. You just get to watch it live. And I have way more fun interacting with people. I just don't have the time to sit and make videos all day, unfortunately. If this was my full-time job, that would be a different story. I could see myself potentially doing tutorials on some of the smaller builds. Like I built a bunch of houses in Grounded for my city. Like those would be really easy to do quick ones. And like eventually in Enshrouded, doing like whatever. There's the blacksmith and the carpenter's home and the hunter and all the different NPCs, but the vast majority of my builds are so big, like it's almost impossible to do a build guide for. Just part of my styling makes it very difficult, and my time constraints in my life currently make it very difficult as well. I don't know how I feel about this yet. It's not quite there. I also miss my little corner pieces, but it still looks good. I don't know. Maybe it ties in differently. Yeah, that boathouse was very specific because that was one of the only really small builds I've ever done. And I made that video before I had a child, which just made a huge difference in my life. That was when I had way more time, so it was really easy to do all the filming while I'm doing it. And I had found, as I'll say this, the process of making that build is you have to have a Steam grounded, and you have to have an Xbox Game Pass grounded, and an account for both. So you have to buy the game on Steam and pay for Game Pass. Then you open 2 instances of the game, or have a great friend that wants to log in and record for you and send you all the footage, which is its own nightmare. And then from there, you have to use a mod that allows you... What, your comment? What did you even do? It's just a symbol. It's not even a comment. What do you mean? Unicycle. It's literally, what am I supposed to read? Apostrophe? You can barely even tell. It's just a square, isn't it? How do I read square? But yeah, the boathouse. So I had 2 instances of Grounded. I had a mod open that allowed me to turn off all of the HUD and stuff and do the recordings. And then I would have to, on one instance, on one screen, set up the camera angle. Then I'd build everything, which then requires me to have the design fully fleshed out and fully figured out so I can just build it. So I have to build it once and then tear it down or look at a reference image and rebuild it. And then every angle I have to change to a different side of the building on the second instance of Grounded while recording first person and second person perspectives. So I'd have to swap in between which thing, because I can't run 2 instances of OBS on my computer properly, especially the one I had then. And so it was just such a convoluted process that it just is so complicated to do those videos that I just, it's not something I'm super interested in. To do them, I could do really crappy speed build ones. I think those are pretty worthless. I don't like the first person speed builds. They're just visually not appealing. They hurt my head, speeding everything up, and it gets confusing. So if I'm going to do it, they have to be really cinematic, and it's just so complicated to make those types of videos, unfortunately. I can't see my other comment either. Oh, so it was you the whole time. Earlier when you said you wanted more in that room, I was thinking pillars in the corners like that. Didn't mention it. I know. Just trust your process. It all happens, right? I'm like XYZ said, this is an apprenticeship, you know? This is where we learn. And you guys are learning me just as much as I'm learning this game. I'm glad I'm predictable at this point. It makes sense. I just gotta, it needs like, unfortunately you can't really do angles very well in this game. So I'd love maybe cross angle or something, but maybe that's where like some of these bars get taken out and start building some little crafting bench things or something. I don't know. Yeah, XYZ doesn't see it either, so I don't know what you're talking about. All I have is this weird square thing you posted. They roll in a ton of viewers, I feel like. They can. You just, unfortunately, I just don't have the time to make that type of video at this moment in life. I'm done. They can do really well. They don't always do really well. And that's the struggle with those videos, is you can put 100 hours into making one of those videos, and I've talked to other people. I've talked to a couple people that do those types of content, and they're very intensive. That's why most of those YouTubers don't post more than one video a month, unless that's what they're doing full time. And then they are extremely hit or miss. Like every single tutorial video I've made on like resource videos for Grounded, the first video I ever made got almost 70,000 views for just a lint tutorial. And then I made that boathouse video, and all my tutorial videos have more views than that entire thing. And so the video I spent some of the most time on, because it's so simple, but they're not simple. They look really simple, but they're just not simple to make, especially with not having a ton of time. And so it's really crappy to put 100 hours into a video and have it get like 2,000 or 3,000 things. Whereas like I've watched one guy, he built a Hobbit hole live and it has like 300,000 views on it for Enshrouded. And he's like, that one live stream of making a Hobbit hole has done better than all of my build tutorials combined on Enshrouded. And so it's like they're really tough videos to make when you don't have a lot of time. And for content creation, this is like a hobby sort of side gig thing I'm working on. I only have so many hours a week to do it, so I would be doing one tutorial every 1 to 2 months, maybe. And I would cut into my streaming time, which is really what I enjoy. I enjoy the interaction so much more than I enjoy playing by myself at this point. And so as cool as those videos are and as good as they can do, the builds that I make don't lend themselves to tutorial videos very well because they're so big. I'd have to break them down into I'd have to break down each individual piece of a build, like this room, and then this room, and then this room. And at that point, it's almost like just live streaming it and doing base tours. Like my base tours, I get to build really cool big things, and my base tours have done exponentially better than that boathouse video for walking through it and talking about what I'm building. So it's a complicated system where I just don't have the time to do those types of videos consistently enough to make them worth it until I no longer have a job or something, and we're a long ways away from that. So character AI, know it or not? Sure. An elevated crafting platform? That could work. Am I even here? You are. I'm just talking. I have to answer people before your comment, and he made his comment before your comment. It just was a long-winded response. First thing about full-time content is having to play to the views too. Just look at Grounded. Yeah, I mean, that's why everyone left Grounded, is because the views turned to crap. And which is funny, everyone left Grounded, and then I made my top 10 build tips video, and it did like, I made it 6 months after most people stopped playing Grounded, and it's one of the best. It's got almost 80,000 views now. But that's the difference between making any content on a game that's popular versus making one really good specific video on a game that can do well. But I have more fun doing the top 10 build tips and teaching people my thought process behind being creative in design than I do just making a building for someone to copy. I'd rather teach someone. I guess this is where it all comes down to. I prefer teaching people how to be creative and build interesting things in video games more than teaching them how to replicate one building exactly. And so for me, I don't have fun making those little build tutorials because I don't want to teach people to copy my builds. I want to teach people to build their own builds. And so for me in content creation, that's what my passion is taking my design experience and teaching other people how to be better and not have to just copy what other people do, but how do you create your own unique, interesting designs that other people can learn from, and how to like take an idea that I may have created and then turn it into something that's your own and way more unique. And so for me, I don't love the just teaching someone. It's a teach a man to fish, you teach him to eat for a day, or give a man a fish,
He eats for a day. Teach a man to fish. He eats for a lifetime. And I'd much rather teach people my thought process, because I think that's a much more helpful place for everyone in the building community, I guess. Made a bot knit, and 23 people have used it. Oh, what? They all came crawling back, then dropped off again. Dude, seriously, though. I don't need all caps to see Motor Unicycle. Now I'm just going to mess with him and be like slightly slower than he'd like, just to mess with him. Your teaching style worked for me. Used to watch thinking I'd never make anything cool, then develop my style. Exactly. And that to me is so much more impactful than like, oh my gosh, I copied your boathouse and I love it. And I'm all good. Like, I love that people will take my ideas and copy it one for one if that's what you want to do. I have absolutely no problem. But I'd much rather teach that person how to do it themselves and feel that fulfillment of being a good designer yourself and learning how to design. But love to learn and be a good builder, low-key a gaming dream, but it's hard. Yeah, and that's what I'm here trying to do, is to help someone like you, John, that doesn't feel like you are a good designer. I guarantee most of it is just putting more time into the game and learning the game mechanics and the build mechanics and all the different things. That, like, Grounded has a very unique build style and build system that you have to put time into to get comfortable with. And so the more I built in it, the more people got to see how to use the different blocks together and create interesting designs and not just make a box. And that's why I made the top 10 build tips to build better in Grounded. That's why I'm going to make one of those videos for Enshrouded, and I'll probably make one for Subnautica. And I love doing that. Making content out of my mega builds is what I'm more passionate about. And so at the end of the day, as much as I'd love to farm millions of views making those types of videos, I'd burn out so fast. And that's the big issue with content creation, is trying to find what you're passionate about so you don't burn out. Because for me, I mean, I work from 8 to 4, then I pick up my son, I hang out with him, I cook dinner, I clean the house until 8 o'clock today. And so I'm busy from first thing in the morning when he woke up at 7 to 8 at night. And then I have this 3 hours to stream, and then I'm going to go to bed after stream. And so it's kind of, I have to do what I'm passionate about, not what's going to get views. I'm lucky that some of the stuff that I'm passionate about does pretty good on views, and I've been able to utilize that and to grow my channel. But if I'm not passionate about it, it's not going to show as a passionate thing, and so I won't get good views. And I've watched a lot of people do things they're not passionate about, and it's destroyed their channel. See-Through being a great example. He completely burned himself out doing something he was no longer interested in, and he lost such a big following from it. And part of that was from Grounded and stuff, but I watched someone hate doing what they did every day, and I didn't want to be that person, because I enjoy doing what I'm doing right now, so I want to keep it that way. First cool thing I made in Grounded was a small ship before having the handy net. Ugh, that sounds horrible. Never did a tutorial on how, but the art of getting people to be creative helped. Yeah. And the plan is for my channel that as I have more time and stuff, I'll keep pushing that learning aspect and teaching aspect, but gotta have the time to make those videos. Sorry, I made on it. I hate my life. See y'all on Wednesday. I gotta head to bed. Sounds good, Motor. It was good seeing you, man. Sorry I was messing with you. But I did read all of your comments, so I will say that. There was one of them that just magically disappeared, and I promise I didn't delete it. Alrighty, but it is 11:23, and now I'm just BNSing around about content creation, and we're not building anymore. So I'm going to call it here. I really appreciate everyone coming back after the long 2 weeks. It has been a very long getaway. But it feels really good to be back, and I feel like I have a pretty good schedule that's going to keep me more consistent, so I'm not on and off every time. So expect Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for the foreseeable future, and then I'm going to be trying to make some short little fun let's build style videos to supplement you guys, so you have stuff to watch on a regular basis and not just whenever I stream. So that's the hope. I will keep you guys updated. Again, everyone join that Discord. Of course, my link died. I think everyone here is already part of it. But if you're not, make sure to join that Discord, and you can hit me up on there, ask questions. Thomas, I will definitely, or John, I will definitely look at your message. Probably first thing tomorrow. I'm going to head to bed here shortly. I did notice you'd only sent one image. Send me a couple more if you can. I'm assuming you're Razor Riot the second. Send me a couple more so I can get a better idea of the whole space. That would help a lot. And then once those are in, I'll hit you up tomorrow morning while I'm working, and I will give you some ideas. But I appreciate everyone. Thanks, Grim, Thomas, XYZ, Motor, Harley. We even had Knife in here earlier. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. It was fun, and I will catch y'all Wednesday. Peace.